Game day has finally arrived in Baltimore, Maryland, and one of baseball's great ballparks. Oriole Park at Camden Yards, the site. They're celebrating an orange October here this year. We welcome Birdland back to the postseason landscape. Let's go! Let's go! Rally towels around, that's what it's all about. Postseason baseball is here, and the 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Got a matchup of division winners getting this series started. The Detroit Tigers back for the fourth consecutive year, winning the American League Central. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Orioles, winners of the American League East. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Baltimore. Great to have you with us here at Camden Yards alongside the Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley and Joe Simpson. I'm Brian Anderson. Our reporter this week is going to be Jamie Maggio. Now, this is going to be a thrilling series. We're very happy to be here because you got two great baseball cities. And guys, Detroit, they're hoping this is finally their year. Meanwhile, Baltimore, they're hoping what they did in the regular season is no fluke.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, Brian, was surprised that Detroit got back to the division series. The surprise is the fact that maybe Baltimore is here, and not so much that they won the American League East, but how they did it. They ran away from everybody, won by 12 games. And this team would make Earl Weaver very proud. They do it, they live and die by the home run. They hit over 200 homers for the third year in a row and had the league leader, Nelson Cruz, hit 40. But as we all know, when you get to the postseason, those home runs become a little bit harder to come by against good pitching.
I'll tell you what, it's unheard of having to face three Cy Young Award winners in a row in this series. And it starts with tonight with Scherzer, the reigning Cy Young Award winner last year. There's a reason why they got David Price. They thought that would put them over the top. As far as the Orioles are concerned, the strength of their team has been their bullpen. You see right, left, starting with O'Day, submariner. Andrew Miller, nasty left-handed pitcher. Hard-throwing Tommy Hunter, and the closer, Zach Britton, his first chance at closing this year. He gets 37 saves. It'd be interesting to see how Buck Showalter orchestrates his bullpen.
Yeah, two high-powered offenses. This is going to be some kind of fun. Best of five, back in Birdland for the first two. We got the lineups and the first pitch. Game one coming up next on TBS. It's a beautiful sight, isn't it? A sea of orange at Camden Yards, and they're back in the postseason. They were here in 2012. They returned this year and hosting the Detroit Tigers. Quite a contrast in styles and personalities, and for more on that, we check in with our reporter for this series, Jamie Maggio. Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening, Brian. Thank you so much. You know, the Tigers come into this series with all the star power. They've got the names that you know, the MVPs, the Cy Young Award winners, yet they were the ones who clinched the division on the final day of the regular season. Now, for the Orioles, it's really been a patchwork effort. After losing Manny Machado, Matt Wieters, and Chris Davis, they were forced to take on the identity of role players, and you know what? It's worked. Not only did they run away with the division, clinching the AL East on September 16th, they were, get this, 31 games over 500 for the final 4 months of the season. Now, Adam Jones told me no one thought we'd be here. No one gave us a shot. And guys, in baseball, sometimes maybe the most comfortable place to be is under the radar.
No question about that. You saw a shot of Manny Machado. He's playing the role of cheerleader. Adam Jones, one of the great stars coming up, a Gold Glove Award winner. He is going to be a primary bat in the middle of that order as well at 29 home runs this season. O's on D. Here's how the Tigers will line up. The batting order is presented by T-Mobile. Ian Kinsler drove in over 90 runs from that leadoff spot this year. Torrey Hunter bats second. And one of the great hitters in the game, Miguel Cabrera, in the 3 spot, the reigning 2-time MVP. Victor Martinez having a terrific year this year. He's the DH. J.D. Martinez been a huge story for the Tigers. He's in left. Alex Avila will do the catching. At third base is Nick Castellanos. Those two flip-flop from what you normally see in the Tigers lineup. Andrew Romine is the shortstop. And Rajay Davis is in center field. That's big news. He is wrestling through an injury to find himself on this postseason roster. And Eck, talk to us about Chris Tillman.
Boy, he deserves to be the ace of this staff, which he has been over the last 2 years. You see the guy 6'5", throws downhill. We're talking about a fastball, overhand curveball, 12-6, straight change, occasional cutter. This kid has been lights out for them. Won 16 games last year, followed it up with a 13-game season this year.
And he'll be backed by one of the best defenses in all of baseball. The Baltimore Orioles catch it. Their outfield as good as it gets defensively. They made only 8 errors in the outfield all year long. 2 Gold Glovers out there. Infield, Flaherty is a replacement for Machado. We'll see how that goes. They had a couple of different choices to make there, but an overall outstanding defensive group. And this guy, Adam Jones, a couple of scouts told me they think he's the reincarnation of Andrew Jones. And he plays like Andrew, plays shallow, can go get the ball great on too.
Game changer in the outfield. All right, they're revved up here in Baltimore. We're ready to play ball here today as Kinsler steps in for the Tigers. And Tillman ready to fire his first pitch. And away we go. Home plate umpire is Paul Schreiber calling balls and strikes. This 6-man umpiring crew. Ian Kinsler was healthy this year. 161 games, led the major leagues in plate appearances, and he's swinging at those short fences right away. Might be one of those series, at least the first 2 games in Baltimore. The Orioles led the American League in home runs, but the Tigers are very well suited to hit the long ball, especially in this ballpark.
You see that abbreviated windup there by Tillman. It looks like he's not even going to the windup. But this guy, he pitches up in the zone quite a bit with his fastball and gets away with it. Takes him a while to get settled into. He has a history of not pitching very well early on.
The Tigers know they want to get to him early. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Everything away on Kinsler, and that one's up and in, and Kinsler was ready for it, and he pulls it foul.
I think that's typical of any guy that's more or less a finesse pitcher. You guys got to get the feel for the mound, got the feel for the ball. And this Orioles staff is a staff that pitches to contact, unlike the Tigers staff who strikes a lot of people out.
Tillman in his first postseason, he was left off the roster in 2012. And another high fastball was fouled away, and that's a big part of the Chris Tillman story, Eck. He can ride that high fastball with the best in the American League, and this is a high fastball hitting Tigers ball club. It's going to be an interesting comparison here as we go through this game.
Well, out of the gate, he's already 94. He usually sort of feels his way into it, but he's pretty juiced up tonight.
Count remains 1-2, and a breaking ball missed Kinsler barely. Spike curveball that Tillman throws, uses in combo with his fastball. Take a look at these Chevrolet pitch tracks. That's for the regular season. 64% fastballs. As that sharp curve change, and he starts this one with a strikeout. Put it right by Kinsler with a fastball. And what a way to get your postseason career started.
Once again, Kinsler loves that high fastball, but he just can't get to it. And you see 93 on the gun. He's coming out of the gate on top of his game as far as velocity is concerned.
Not too much finesse there. That was just, here it is, hit it.
One away. Tillman will face Torrey Hunter now. Hunter in his second year with the Tigers. 39 years of age. A 9-time Gold Glove Award winner. He's not the defender that he was. He plays right field these days, but he can still swing the bat. He's in great shape. 17 homers this year. Tillman just powering another one by him. And it's 0-2 on Hunter.
But that's easy gas right there. I mean, he looks smooth. His delivery not jumping. Feeling good.
Good.
Fastballs, too.
Chris Tillman just sticking with the heat. Back-to-back Ks to start this one tonight.
It's amazing to me. That ball looks middle, maybe a hair up, right?
Yeah.
And they cannot get to it. That's in the zone. 95. That's as good as he goes. And this is in the first inning. Don't tell me the playoffs don't pump you up.
Now, through the regular season, he averaged about 6.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. He can be a strikeout pitcher. But as Joe noted, a lot of balls put in play against Tillman. They have a superb defense, so that doesn't hurt him. And with 2 outs and back-to-back Ks, this will be the test all night for every pitcher the Orioles have, with Miguel Cabrera coming up. And he's hacking right away on the first pitch.
Miguel Cabrera wasn't 100% last year in the postseason. He's as close to 100% as he's been in a long time right now. Ankle feels better, groin is better, his balance at the plate is better, and he had a very good month of September.
Cabrera back-to-back MVP awards. Won't win it this year, but Cabrera still one of the most feared hitters in either league. He did lead the American League in doubles this season. He finished second in the league in RBIs, drove in 109, and he was 7th in batting average. There's that hook by Tillman. It is a nasty curveball, reminiscent of an Adam Wainwright breaking ball. And that's got Cabrera thinking a little bit.
Now, you don't see too many 12-6 breaking balls in the big leagues. It's hard to get over for one. But if you can get it over, it makes your gas look like it does tonight.
Wow. What a start. Chris Tillman. In the first inning, and it is October. You've entered Camden Yards, and the magic is back under Buck Showalter. Let's take a look at the T-Mobile batting order that Showalter puts together here tonight. Markakis leads off. De Aza, late acquisition from the White Sox, in second. And Adam Jones batting third. The DH is Nelson Cruz, the home run champ in the American League. Steve Pearce, great story at first. You got Hardy at short. Brian Flaherty gets a call at third, with Hundley and Scope rounding out the lineup. And the first pitch from Max Scherzer. He is low to Nick Markakis, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, 30-year-old Max Scherzer, chosen by Brad Ausmus to deliver Game 1 for the Detroit Tigers.
You talk about Scherzer trying to duplicate what he did last year. He almost has. In fact, pitched more innings this year, more punch-outs. You see the 252 punch-outs, and the ERA just a taste over. But last year, 21-game winner, 18 this year. Took the ball 33 times.
Career high in innings pitched, and the 18 wins that you saw, best in the American League. Markakis in his first postseason. Orioles fans know the story well. 2012 down the stretch, he was hit by a pitch, a CC Sabathia pitch. And it knocked him out of the postseason. He delivers with a base hit. And Joe, this couldn't start any better for the Baltimore Orioles right now.
Absolutely not. Nick Markakis has had a tremendous year too, and in the leadoff spot, a place that they needed someone to take over there, he has, and a guy who may be the toughest out in their lineup at the top of the order.
He's one of the few that'll see a lot of pitches. These guys act. They are free swingers. They hit a ton of home runs. They bring great defense to the picture. And Buck Showalter, you got to give him a lot of credit. He took over in 2010. He's got the Birds back in the postseason for the second time in his reign here. There's Alejandro De Aza, who gets the start in left field for this opener.
You don't have to worry about the Orioles running. Now you've got De Aza here. He's the guy that can run a little bit. But you don't see too much hitting and running. Not too much of anything. Base to base. They're looking for long ball.
Orioles picked up De Aza for the final month of the season. And he is very familiar with the American League Central and the Tigers from his years with the Chicago White Sox. In fact, De Aza and Adam Dunn were traded a day apart at the end of August. And while Dunn's postseason tenure is over, he indicated he might retire. De Aza finds himself back in the postseason here, and he's got a great chance hitting second behind Markakis in front of Adam Jones. Way inside that hit him. So De Aza drilled by the pitch, and it's first and second to start it offensively for the Orioles.
You're talking about a major misfire right there. I think that's a changeup. I don't think that's a slider. I mean, did he yank his changeup that far over?
I think he did, right off the toe, too.
You talk about a guy that's been out there, you know, has postseason experience. He's a little fired up as compared to the kid. Tillman hadn't been out there, and he's throwing strikes.
And of course it missed all the padding that he has on that shifty foot. And right on the toe.
Max Scherzer said yesterday that even though he didn't see the Orioles this year, he knows how dangerous they are, especially in the power category. And he said, I'm going to have to stay out of hitters' counts.
Look how far away that is. He's setting up outside. That ball is way in the left-hander's batter's box.
I'm not sure Avila would even be able to get a glove on that.
I don't know what the pitch was. It was so ugly.
Well, Max said, I need to stay out of 2-1, 2-0 counts, 3-1 counts because of their ability to launch.
Unlikely he'll be in one of those counts against Adam Jones, who doesn't hang around very long. He's ready to swing the bat immediately. And he hacks on the first pitch, got a chance to turn a double play here. And it will be a 6-4-3 double play. So right away with 2 on and nobody out, Scherzer able to settle it down and get 2 outs with 1 swing of Adam Jones' bat.
Yeah, what new with Adam Jones? Walked 19 times on the year. You know he's going to swing. Little slider, beautiful thing. Tailor-made double play. Scherzer trying to get out of this inning, but first pitch hit hard enough. Nicely done to turn easily by Kinsler.
When you know the guy's going to be trying to jump on you early, that was a great pitch call for the first pitch to him.
So Jones with the double play, 2 gone, runner at third. Nelson Cruz now, who did the Tigers a number when he was with the Texas Rangers back in 2011. And that ball's hit deep right center field. Hunter looks up, and there she goes! Nelson Cruz puts the Orioles on the board first.
How about that? What a statement that is. Took the air out of the stadium in a double play ball, and you see Cruz jumps on the first pitch opposite Johnson. And in this ballpark, you get it up in the air, and it's like, seems like a no-doubter.
First year skipper Brad Ausmus. Look at our cameras just shaking. This building is rocking right now. First ball swinging Pierce into left center. JD Martinez is there to make the play. Side retired. 2 pitches. Double play for 2 outs. Home run Nelson Cruz. Bam, just like that. The O's flying high with 2 on the board. Nelson Cruz again, he hurt him so badly in 2011. What a start. After Tillman strikes out the side in the top of the first, Cruz with 2 outs, a 2-run home run. And now Tillman back to work as Victor Martinez will lead off here for the Tigers. What a great year he had. A comeback year for him of sorts. A couple of years ago, missed the season 32 home runs, finished 8th in the league in homers, and 103 runs batted in. That was 7th. And he almost won a batting title this year. Hit .335. He finished second to Jose Altuve, and in a contract season, a massive season. Joe mentioned that Chris Tillman faced the Tigers once this year. That was early in Detroit, pitched into the 9th inning, and in that game, Joe, he had retired the first 10 batters of the game, and that was the only win for the Orioles of the season series this year. Detroit beat them 5 out of 6.
Well, the fact that they played in April and May, it's a season ago. It's so long ago. It's almost like they haven't seen each other in so long. Both teams are different. But Tillman has that already under his belt, that he pitched a great game against them. The only win the Orioles had against Detroit. The only run he gave up was a home run to Torrey Hunter and pitched into the 9th inning. That's a big confidence boost for him.
Martinez takes a strike, evens the count at 2-2.
You see the great changeup by him too. And you talk about his last start against him. You know, he doesn't go 9 innings very often in this day and age. So you remember when you took it to the 9th.
In the air, deep right field. That ball is way back there, and Victor Martinez answers. A big bomb to right.
That is the strikeout streak.
Nobody better in the American League or in the big leagues with 2 strikes than Victor Martinez this season. Major damage with 2 strikes. Hit over .330 this year. And he took a 2-2 pitch and hammers one near Utah Street out there. What a blast, and that quiets him down here in Baltimore.
This is a 2-2 cookie to me. There's really not a whole lot on it. And you're talking about Victor with 2 strikes. I know he gets a lot of hits with 2 strikes, but I don't know how many dingers he gets with 2 strikes. But for him, it looked easy.
Career year for him. Career high in hits, slugging, on base, OPS.
J.D. Martinez, who's been such a big part of the Tigers' story this year. Back at his customary fit spot in the order. 2 great stories of guys that were forgotten about. Not sure what their place would be, not just on our ball club, but in the entire major leagues. J.D. Martinez and Steve Pearce of the Baltimore Orioles. Great story of redemption for each, and they have both been key players for their respective clubs. And J.D. Martinez, another guy who has tremendous power. Started the year, at least in spring training, Joe, with the Astros, was released by the Houston Astros. He was making some swing changes, has some relationships with Tigers personnel, including Dave Clark, one of their coaches, and they recommended that they sign him. Dombrowski did sign him, started the year in the minor leagues. He hits that one deep. That's got a chance to go. Goodbye.
That's what he does. Tremendous power the other way.
Gave it right back. A souvenir lost on Utah.
I talked to him before the game, and I said, well, what changes did you make in the offseason? He said, where do you want to start? A good place to start would be at my feet and work up. I changed everything.
He had 9 opposite field home runs this year. This is number 10. Looks like he's late on a fastball, but guess what? This ball is way back. I saw him take Perkins deep, the left-hander closer with Minnesota earlier this year, like he did to a lot of closers late in games.
Right.
Boy, what an answer by the Tigers. Back-to-back. Martinez to tie this one up at 2. And after all that good favor in the first, and Tillman striking out the side, Victor and J.D. do big damage. And Joe, that's what we were talking about in the open. The Tigers are very much built for this ballpark. The Orioles led the league in home runs, but the Tigers certainly would have pushed that number if they played half their games here. Shift is on for Alex Avila.
I think Tillman got carried away with his cheese, is what I thought. He threw the ball so hard in the first inning.
Yeah. He had a big adrenaline rush. He got away with some high fastballs and thought he might be able to do it again.
His first postseason, J.D. Martinez, first at bat, ends up in a home run, an opposite field homer. Hit 23 during the regular season, hit 10 in the minor leagues before he was called up. A defensive swing by the Tigers catcher, and it puts a count at 1-2.
But Tillman stays up there a lot. You know, you don't see that very often because he gets away with it. Not this inning, but he gets away with it.
He had a pretty good Hall of Fame pitcher that got away with some high fastballs.
Jim Palmer, right?
Yeah, and had a curveball that broke from the same angle.
Now those are the numbers this year. Does give up some damage in the first 3 innings. Settles in. Obviously, when you get innings 7 through 9, if you're still in the game at that point, you're dominating, and that's why those numbers show as they are. Tillman did pitch into the 9th inning against the Tigers way back in April. And another high fastball. Avila doesn't bite on this one. Evens a count at 2-2. Alex Avila, very talented catcher. Not the same kind of hitter this year, or even the last couple of years, than he was back in 2011, 2010. He's been dealing with some concussion problems. Has suffered 3 concussions in his career, and down he goes on strikes. He'll be a guy that we're watching closely in this series. As Tillman picks up his 4K. Now we ask you, where will you be the next time history is made? Be there for all of the action in 2015. Go to MLB.com/season tickets to reserve your seat today. And not a seat to be had here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. So looking forward to this series. 2 great ballparks, great fan bases. Tigers are regulars in the postseason. 4 consecutive American League Central Division titles. They went right down to the last day, Joe, had to win their division by just 1 game over the upstart Royals.
It seems like they've always got to open on the road, too.
Nick Castellanos flip-flop in the lineup today, which Ausmus will do occasionally. Avila hitting in front of him. Excellent young third baseman, a rookie who is a hitter.
Side of the Tigers defense at short and third has been a bit of a question mark all year long defensively. After the injury to Iglesias in spring training with the stress fractures, they had a high and wide search for a shortstop. Castellanos has provided big stick, but defensively still working.
Well, he has been under the tutelage of the great shortstop Omar Vizquel, the first base coach, infield coach, spending a lot of time with Castellanos just getting his defense up to snuff. Tigers have no worries about his offense. As a matter of fact, that's why they feel good about making the trade, trading Prince Fielder to the Rangers for Ian Kinsler to make room for Castellanos and getting Cabrera over to first base. 2-2 pitch. Fastball fouled away.
For me, getting Cabrera over to first base is huge. You know, especially with all of his injuries. Even today, you're really not sure if he's quite all healed up. I mean, they say he is. The home run production is down. I mean, he's been hot in September. The home run balls come back for him.
Well, Castellanos, you can just see it in his approach. He's been under the tutelage offensively of Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez. This is a very good 2-strike hitting team, as we've seen already. Castellanos is another guy that will shorten his swing and has enough power with that shortened swing with 2 strikes.
Good 2-strike hitting coach, too, in Wally Jones.
3-2 into right field. Markakis eases back, and a flick of the wrist ends up at the warning track on this warm October night. And there is out number 2. So after the back-to-back homers, Tillman comes back with a K and a fly ball. And the part of the order, Joe, that he has to control once you get past Avila or Castellanos, the bottom of the order, certainly don't want to have base runners. That applies to every major league lineup, but even more so against the Tigers lineup with so much talent at the top of their order in Kinsler and slugging percentage and home run ability.
Well, Brad Ausmus told us before the game he was going with defense tonight at shortstop. And Romine had a good September too. He hit close to 300, so that was more or less a bonus for him.
To be the valuable guy is on deck. That's the guy. And all eyes were on their roster move today, whether he was going to come on or not.
Big story with Rajay Davis. Romine takes a strike. Davis has an injury, lower abdomen, giving him problems, and it's a nagging injury, but it'll be his first postseason as well. He hits in the 9 spot. Tillman's got Romine 0-2. And the high fastball is taken for ball 1.
Just as Tillman was fired up in that first inning, the Tigers hitters are jacked up too. They see that high fastball and they think they can clobber it. They were just a little late on it in the first inning.
Tigers got Romine from the Angels in March. Jose Iglesias, they were hoping to be their everyday shortstop, whom they acquired from the Red Sox last season. Romine has earned the job. Talented defender. He's 28 years of age. His father played in the major leagues. Kevin was an outfielder with the Red Sox. There's another Romine in professional baseball as well. His brother Austin. Yankees fans know him well, up and down with the New York Yankees. Talented catcher. Two balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. And now the Tigers starting to lay off that high fastball of Tillman.
I think he shoved a changeup right there. A little too fast for a changeup.
28 pitches this inning after striking out the side of an electric first inning. Payoff.
This postseason atmosphere is fabulous, isn't it? This Baltimore crowd is, half of them are on their feet in anticipation of a strikeout.
It's pitch to pitch.
Yeah, it is.
Another 3-2 on the way from Tillman, and hanging tough. That pitch count rising. You'll see at least 9 pitches in this at bat. As the pitch count this inning goes over 30.
I think that happens a lot to Tillman over the course of the season. A lot of foul balls off that high fastball. Pitch counts go up. That's why he doesn't go deep.
Everything up in the zone. Payoff again. Down he goes. Romine strikes out. So a couple of Ks in the inning, but how about the Tigers? After Cruz goes deep for a 2-run shot in the first, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, all tied at 2. CBS schedule presented by DirecTV following our game is Game 1 between the Royals and the Angels from Anaheim. And then tomorrow, starting with the pregame with Casey and the guys, that starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Tigers-Royals at noon here on TBS for Game 2. And then the Royals and Angels with E.J. Cal and Ron Darling. It'll be at 9 p.m. on TBS as J.J. Hardy, the terrific Gold Glove shortstop of the Orioles, starts it. 2-2 game. All runs coming on the home run thus far.
Nick and I are going to need a wake-up call tomorrow. Okay?
I haven't seen 8 o'clock in about 2 years.
J.D. Martinez with his first home run in the postseason and his first postseason at bat. Any moss work on the in the early morning tomorrow?
Well, we have to. I mean, you got it. That's the most important thing.
You've upgraded our booth in the moss tan mustache category, so
I haven't been outside in a couple of days. It's fading.
It's good to have you, Eck.
Thank you.
We'll see how Max Scherzer comes back now. Scherzer was almost out of the inning. Gave up a single to Markakis to start it. Then he hit De Aza. Got a double play off the bat of Adam Jones. And then lightning struck with Nelson Cruz, the American League home run champ this season. Now Nelson Cruz hit 40 during the regular season. Has one on the board already.
J.J. Hardy's used to hit 20 a year. This year down to 9.
Tried it out, hit him, or a foul ball. Foul ball is the call.
Hardy was battling some back issues too earlier in the year that sapped him of some of his power at the bat. But he's made some changes and adjustments in his stance, holding his hands a little higher, hands a little freer in his swing.
He lines one into center field. Rajay Davis is there, plays deep, makes the play, and Hardy is retired.
And therein lies the question mark for the defense for the Detroit Tigers in this playoff, in my opinion. The outfield defense for the Orioles is so outstanding. Not so necessarily for the Tigers, and with Davis's injury in particular, and they had him out here working out this morning at 9:30 before they added him to their roster. Will he be able to go back on balls? Will he be able to charge the ball accordingly when he needs to? We'll have to keep an eye on that the whole series.
Yeah, they sat Davis down last couple of days of the regular season, taking a couple of days to recover from that injury. And Rajay told us before the game, just getting started with movements gives him a little pain. Once he's in the movement, whether it's running or hitting or sliding, he's okay. Ryan Flaherty unable to check his swing. That's Jim Wolf over there at third base. And Flaherty, who gets the early call at third base. Losing Manny Machado was a big loss for the Orioles defensively. The platinum gold Glove Award winner, platinum and gold last year. There's Machado. They allow him in the dugout in uniform. Knee injury, surgeries to each knee the last 2 years. At the end of each season has knocked him out for this postseason.
I don't know too many teams that can take a hit like the Orioles did with 3 key offensive players and defensive players and still win your division by 12 games. Wieters, then Machado, then the suspension of Davis. Unbelievable what a good job Buck Showalter and his staff and his team have done.
Look good going through pitch tracks.
We got to have that.
They were not catching that ball. Machado and Matt Wieters, both terrific defenders who bring some punch offensively. Gold Glove Award winners. Wieters out with Tommy John surgery. He should be back by next season, the beginning of next season. Had that surgery at the end of May. And Flaherty draws a walk, so Scherzer has a man on. Back in the stretch he goes. Ryan Flaherty is aboard. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. And we have had 3 leave the park already as we play in the bottom of the second inning.
So you walk one of the Baltimore Orioles, you haven't been close to the plate. They were 13th out of 15 teams in walks.
He had him punched out. He just didn't get the call pitch before.
Here's Nick Hundley. Speaking of Wieters, when Wieters went down and it looked like he was not coming back in May, the Orioles made an early trade with the San Diego Padres to get Hundley in the fold. And the Orioles have two catchers, and that's a big decision for Buck Showalter, with Caleb Joseph, the other, a rookie catcher, and Nick Hundley, a little more experience.
Hundley works well with Tillman. He has the good numbers there. Joseph has the better arm, but hasn't been swinging very well at all in September.
Orioles don't run much. Very few in their lineup will try to steal. And why would you in this ballpark with a roster that hits this many home runs?
Scherzer's just not comfortable yet. He's pulling a lot of things. He has a good slider here and there, a good changeup.
See what he has in mind here. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ryan Flaherty. We'll check that on Hundley with Flaherty at first, and Hundley in the air, center field. Davis will make the call and the catch, and Scherzer with his second out. Flaherty showed tag, will remain at first base. And the second out of the inning for Max Scherzer, and he'll face Jonathan Scope with 2 away.
Probably got away with a 1-2 fastball right there. And maybe it's just me. I'm thinking everything in the air is gone.
Me too. A little bit of breeze blowing in from left center field may have held that one up a little bit.
You are a little jumpy in here in this ballpark, aren't you?
Everything that goes in the air.
Well, the Orioles have power throughout their lineup, even in the 9 spot in the order, with Jonathan Scope, who has emerged as the everyday second baseman for the Orioles. Scherzer starts him with an off-speed pitch.
Second baseman, he's a monster, isn't he? This kid is huge.
He's about 230. He's normally a shortstop, and now he's playing second. You're going to hear a lot about this kid.
He's 22 years of age. He's from Curacao. He's on that Little League World Series team as he hits one at the end of the bat, and it's through for a base hit, and Flaherty's on his way to third. So Jonathan Scope turns the lineup over with a base hit with 2 outs, and it's first and third for the O's.
Scherzer once again leaves something right down the middle. I don't know if this is a slider or a changeup, but it's right there. He almost gets his head taken off. This is right hit, right. Does he kind of catch that?
I hope he wasn't trying to throw his elbow.
You do crazy things, man. But it wasn't a rocket, because if it's a rocket, you have no time to do anything.
And Joe, to your point earlier about the Tigers' outfield, the Orioles are going to take liberties with their outfield in a lot of categories. Sac flies or first to third on base hits to center field. They play very deep. Don't have the strong throwing arms out there. So Flaherty easily goes to third. Now you got to watch for a wild pitch to maybe score a run. Here is Markakis back to the top of the order.
Miguel Cabrera looked in for a long time, and Brad Osmus find out if he wanted him to hold Scope on or play behind him with Markakis up there. And they've got him at the bag. Scope, 2 stolen bases on the year like we talked about. They don't run much. Taking a chance giving Markakis that hole.
You see how he yanks that changeup. It's a good one. It usually fades away from a left-handed hitter. He threw a strike with it right there. He's just not comfortable. He just hasn't found it yet.
Well, the Orioles first time through the batting order against Scherzer go 3 for 7. Hit batter and a walk. That home run by Cruz. Markakis looking to do 2-out damage as well. Cruz's home run last inning came with 2 outs. And Scherzer in there for a strike inside corner. Got the call from Paul Schreiber. And it goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
That's what it's all about. You command that fastball. We'll go from there. Yeah. That was paint right there.
See the opponent's batting average for Scherzer through the regular season. This is a spot where he really buckled down with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. 186 opponent batting average.
Like I said before, this guy's typically the toughest out, even behind in the count.
Big pitch for Scherzer early with 2 away. In the dirt, nice block back there by Avila. Very good keeping the ball in front of him. Tigers pitchers have the utmost confidence in Alex Avila. 2-2.
He didn't want to make a mistake with that changeup. He shoved it in the dirt. Markakis will hit the ball the other way, especially with 2 strikes.
Swing and drive to right center field. Now he's going to fall. A base hit. Flaherty scores. Over to third goes Scope. Another 2-out RBI. Markakis waited on the changeup. Delivers the RBI. He's 2 for 2 tonight, and the Orioles are on top.
Looked like he hit it like he threw it. Looked like a changeup.
And he shook off a sign to throw it.
Ball's up just enough. He didn't hit that ball very well at all, but when you're going bad, that ball falls in for Scherzer. I thought that ball was going to be a gapper, and it didn't go anywhere. Sort of dumped it into right field. The ball almost bit out there.
Yeah. And with 2 outs, runners are running, and easy for Scope to get from first to third.
A lot of offense early in this one. Here's Alejandro De Aza, first and third, 2 outs. And he's hacking at the first pitch. De Aza was hit by a pitch his first time up last inning. Got him on the front foot. Scope with the 2-out single. Markakis with the RBI with 2 outs.
Such a struggle for Scherzer. You see when he's on his game, it looks so easy. He just dominates, dotting corners, changing speeds, pretty much doing anything that he wants. Right now, he's scuffling.
Hadn't struck out about it.
Right.
A check on Markakis just to keep him honest. Scherzer is one of those guys who elevates his strikeout game in the postseason. At least he has since he's been pitching in the postseason with the Tigers. Averages around 10 Ks per 9 innings to his career in the regular season, and then in the postseason that is up to over 12 strikeouts per 9. He's not getting those swings and misses. 1-1 to De Aza. Play.
He just let that ball go. Go get him.
And the Orioles led the league in homers, but the fewest in stolen base attempts and successful steals. Played station to station. 1-2 to De Aza with runners at the corners. And a ground ball over to Kinsler. And that will retire the side. So Scherzer lifts up another run. It's a 2-out RBI by Markakis. Orioles up 3-2 after 2.
Chris Tillman's night. He started off the first inning punching out the side, lighting it up. Kinsler being the first punch out. Punt out of the zone. You talk about Hunter right by you, 95. And look at the hump on this one, 96, right by Cabrera. Second inning, a totally different inning. Fastball middle up to Victor Martinez, a bomb. And you see J.D. Martinez, the same thing. Let the ball travel in. Hit the ball the other way out of the ballpark. Everybody was like in shock after those 3 punch outs.
Had this place revved up.
It was too.
Yes.
It was 3 Ks on 14 pitches. Took him over 30 to get through the second inning. Did finish with 2 more strikeouts in that second inning as Rajay Davis, his first postseason at bat as he leads off this 3rd inning for the Tigers. A long time coming. 9 years in the big leagues, parts of 9 seasons. Injury questions about Rajay Davis, but he's back and he sends one to center field. The Gold Glovers out there. And Adam Jones makes a play for the first out. Let's see if Tillman settles in a little bit after giving up back-to-back homers in the second. Well, it is Chevy Truck Month, a time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year Chevy Silverado. What a beautiful sight it is, huh? Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Opened in 1992, the first of the retro ballparks. And it still stands up beautifully after a couple of decades. Top of the order, big curveball in for a strike on Ian Kinsler.
You put the Tigers in this ballpark, they hit 200 home runs.
Yep.
No doubt.
You might have 3 guys hit 150 of them.
Quite a contrast from the Tigers' home park. Comerica Park in Detroit, a pitcher-friendly ballpark. Detroit still puts up great power numbers there. It has a lot to do, all to do with their hitters and the power of their hitters that even Comerica can't hold when they hit them well. Nice pickup here for the Tigers, and Ian Kinsler traded from the Rangers. Rangers are trying to clear some space for Jurickson Profar. They've got a lot of young infielders there. The Tigers were trying to get Cabrera to first base, so Prince Fielder for Ian Kinsler. Turns out to be the year for the Rangers that Prince Fielder ended up being injured, and he missed most of the season.
Well, he got out of Texas just in time, didn't he? The disaster that happened there, you know, injuries had a lot to do with it. But this kid, 92 RBIs. That says something about Davis hitting 9th, is what it says.
Two and two to Kinsler. Fouls it back, had a good cut.
What a change for him, too, going from the ballpark at Arlington to Comerica Park, too, and the defenses.
He's going to yank home runs, right? I mean, Deadpool. Yeah. He's ready to act.
I like to watch him play.
Plays a good second base, too. A little underrated.
And he fouls another one off. A little late on that spinner from Tillman. Cut fastball. Kinsler had 3 hits and a homer in the Tigers clincher on Sunday. That was a shutout win over the Minnesota Twins. They had to go down to the final day to clinch their 4th consecutive division title. Kinsler hit 4 home runs in the final 2 weeks of the season. He's hanging tough. Now 32 years of age and still on a 10-year contract originally given to him by the Texas Rangers. You see where he ranks in the American League. 100 runs scored, on base a lot. 5th in the American League in that category, up there in hits as well. And doubles.
And with that many plate appearances, he's out there every day for 9.
They have to be thrilled over that trade.
There's a lot of folks talking about his offense, rightly so, but his manager, Brad Ausmus, has been selling Kinsler as a Gold Glove candidate this year at second base. It's a foul ball off the foot of Kinsler.
For the longest time, there was always Cano, Pedroia. Now Altuve has jumped into the picture at second base.
trade. Fielder, no games after May 16th. Had neck surgery. Played just 42 games this year. A guy that played in a ton of games throughout his career. In the 1 year he was injured with Texas. It'll be an 11 pitch at bat at least.
How did Jamie get up there?
That works. There's nothing like postseason fandom. Brings out the best. What an at bat here. Number 11 of the sequence, and another foul ball. 2 long at bats already against Tillman. That pitch count is rising quickly. Andrew Romine had a 9-pitch battle that ended in a strikeout.
Yeah, but see, the Orioles they don't even know what's going on here because they've never seen anybody stand at the plate this long for one at bat. They're not used to it. They want him to
punch out or square it up. Let's go.
Put it in play or get out of here.
Well, the Tigers are a powerhouse offensively. Second in Major League Baseball in runs scored. They led the American League in batting average. Pitch number 12 is a foul ball. And Chris Tillman cannot shake Ian Kinsler.
Comerica Park is a doubles park is what it is. And then a triples park over there in right center field.
Torrey Hunter would be next. One gone. Davis flew out to center field to start the inning. 4 straight pitches fouled off and make it 5 in a row. Now Buck Showalter and the Orioles have no problem turning the ball over to their bullpen. But there are concerns, just like there would be with any manager in a postseason situation, especially a best of 5, trying to get through the 5th and the 6th if the pitch count is rising. Just ask Ned Yost of the Royals. Kinsler shatters his bat, and there to make the play over at third base is Flaherty. He had to avoid the spinning bat head. But an epic battle between Kinsler and Tillman ends in a little soft liner to third base.
That's quite an accomplishment there by Tillman to keep going after it. High fastball after high fastball, but this one gets in on him, just absolutely crunches him. Thought this ball was going to get over the head of Flaherty, but that's a soft line drive.
On the 14th pitch, a bit of a shift on. Flaherty covering that hole, and he makes the play easily. So 2 outs. Here's Torrey Hunter now. Shows bunt. And Tillman with bare hand fires a strike. On 1 pitch, he retires Hunter. 3 up, 3 down for Tillman. O's have the lead. They're coming up. We have the bottom of the 3rd in Baltimore. minutes early, the Orioles have a 3-2 lead over the Tigers downtown Baltimore. That's a good perch. Looking down into Oriole Park in Camden Yards. This 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Brian Anderson with the Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley, Joe Simpson, Jamie Maggio, our reporter for this series. First of the best of 5 American League Division Series. Max Scherzer needing a good inning here. He's had to work a lot the first 2 innings, and all 3 Orioles runs coming with 2-out hits. 38 pitches through the first 2 for Scherzer. He's got Adam Jones to start it. And Jones shows bunt, takes a strike. Taking a page out of the Torrey Hunter book to end the last inning.
Scherzer could use one of those 1, 2, 3 innings. He's had to throw a lot of pitches the first 2.
Jones swung at the first pitch. He bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the first inning. It was prior to the Nelson Cruz 2-run home run with 2 outs. He's due up next. Jones, Cruz, and Steve Pearce.
There he goes. He made a nice pitch with a fastball in the outer half. Probably one of the toughest pitches to throw as a pitcher is a ball that try to dot the outside corner to the right-handed hitter. But it gets all your mechanics in play when you make that pitch.
Alex Avila flipping the changeup signal, and Jones way out in front. Scherzer with a great changeup to get the strikeout. 1 gone here in the 3rd, and we check in with Jamie Maggio. Jamie.
Hey, Brian, thanks. You know what? It's time to take a look at tonight's Goodyear superior performance, and that is Nelson Cruz. Traditionally, Nelson has put up good numbers in the postseason, but especially against the Detroit Tigers. In the 2011 ALCS, while with the Rangers, Cruz hit 6 home runs in a 6-game series. He's also swung the bat well for the Orioles this year, leading the majors in home runs with 40. You know, Adam Jones told me Nelson Cruz is our team MVP. We wouldn't be here without him. Brian?
He's had a great year. What a year it has been. Suspended last year, part of that biogenesis investigation. Signed a 1-year contract with the Orioles, $8 million. It's a huge value for what he produced. I'm going to play his career with that notion that he was suspended for performance-enhancing drugs, but all Cruz can do, and he said as much, he can come back and play and put up the numbers. His legacy will be what it is, but he has certainly made an impact on the Orioles immediately.
Well, told you he didn't need the help.
Yeah. And he was a late sign, too. You know, people were shying away from him, and he was very grateful for the opportunity to come to Baltimore, and he certainly paid him back.
He's on a 1-year deal, unlike another guy involved in that investigation, Johnny Peralta, who will be in the spotlight at shortstop with the Cardinals. He signed a multiple-year deal, and down goes Cruz, and back-to-back strikeouts for Max Scherzer, his first 2 of the game.
It's just a matter of time before Scherzer starts to find his magic bat right there. Was great. He's doing a fastball in, painted him, and then this slider down and away. Beautiful pitches, back-to-back pitches. 2 punch-outs in this inning, and he hasn't had a good slider to this point.
No.
That being the best so far.
First strikeouts of the night. 2 outs are where he's had some problems, though. The 2-run homer in the first, the RBI hit by Markakis.
Here's Steve Pearce jumping on that first pitch. What a story Pearce has been. We haven't gotten into the Chris Davis story as of yet. We will. Davis is suspended, but he could come back if the Orioles stay alive long enough. That was an amphetamines suspension and a 25-game suspension. Pearce has stepped in, done a great job, and he pops this one up, and Max Scherzer needed that. That was a big inning for him. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. We are through 3, game 1 of this ALDS. O's on top. Take a look at tonight's playmakers presented by the all-new Chrysler 200. And Joe, the greatness of Miguel Cabrera and doing big damage against the Orioles throughout his career.
Yeah, since he came here from the Marlins, I'd say he's done pretty well in those important categories. That bottom line, almost a 400 career average against the Orioles in his time. And when you think about the fact they're not even in the same division, that's pretty impressive.
51 games career against Baltimore, 18 home runs. He had a big home run here at Camden Yards in mid-May. Ended up as the final efforts by Tommy Hunter as the Orioles closer. Cabrera and Victor Martinez hit back-to-back home runs early in the season. Seems like a lifetime ago that the Tigers were here in Baltimore. 25 homers, 109 RBIs. Tommy Hunter now the 8th inning setup man, and he bounced back very well after his early season struggles as the closer.
You got to give Tommy Hunter credit, because at that time, having given up that job, I mean, I know he had some injuries with his leg injuries and this and that, but for him to come back and do, you know, be an important part of this bullpen again. He did it once before. He was a big 8th inning guy. You got to wonder sometimes this guy's 9th inning such a big deal or something.
Cabrera out to Markakis, and Chris Tillman has now retired 7 in a row.
Some guys can pitch in the 9th inning, though, and you're a Hall of Fame, and you might not even know what inning it is.
Yeah, but I tell you, to me, it was, I thought the 8th inning was tougher. I'm telling you.
And don't forget, you can follow it all tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. Giants and Nationals, 3 p.m. on FS1. Cardinals at Dodgers, 6:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. It's over in the National League as they'll get their division series started. The San Francisco Giants behind Madison Bumgarner taking down the Pirates on the road last night. Giants are back in. They have won the World Series even number years, 2010, 2012, and Bumgarner was fantastic last night against
He really was. You talk about some of the good pitching in the National League. Obviously Kershaw and Wainwright, but what about Bumgarner? I mean,
fabulous.
It's going to be Steven Strasburg against Jake Peavies. In D.C., Victor Martinez almost daring the pitchers to get to 2 strikes on him quickly so he can really go to work, right? Does his best work with 2 Ks.
He takes his time getting in that batter's box, too. He gets so focused.
And the 0-2 misses. Pitch Tracks had it on the corner, didn't get the call. It's almost like Paul Schreiber says, you know, if Victor didn't think it was a strike, it probably wasn't a strike.
Well, I would have reacted to that on the mound in the olden days. Nowadays, you don't see anybody squawk, which is a good thing.
See what he has in mind here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And down he goes. Tillman with the fastball. He stayed away from him. That was a ball. And Tillman picks up another strikeout. That is his 6th of the night already. We're in the 4th inning.
That's a great pitch, though. Just enough off the plate to make him offer. Too close to take.
You don't see a bad swing like that from Victor too often. If he got fooled, looking for something else, beat him.
So since the J.D. Martinez home run, that's 8 in a row retired by Tillman, and Martinez swings at the first pitch. He fouls it off. J.D. Martinez, first postseason at bat, didn't waste much time. Opposite field power, and he drives one over the tall right field wall. And the back-to-back home runs to tie the game. At the time, the Orioles scored in the bottom of the 2nd inning to take the lead 3-2.
During my conversation with JD before the game today, when I was talking about all the changes he made, I said, you know, I have a lot of respect for you, because a lot of young players, they wouldn't make a change. If they're in the big leagues, they think, well, I got here and I'm not going to change anything. He said, I probably would have been one of those guys that if somebody would have suggested something, I would have said, no, thank you. He said, but I got to a point where things were going the wrong way. And I had to do something. I had to make some adjustments. So good for him.
Gary Sheffield and Todd Frazier, he was kind enough to join us on our pregame set. And we enjoy having Todd with us. But we're talking about the transformation of the swings from a very busy, active swing with an uppercut to now this quiet approach. And it has turned into a lot of power for him. Did he go? That is a foul ball, according to the home plate umpire Schreider. And Martinez will see at least one more.
Was Sheffield talking about a quiet approach the way he?
Right. That's just like Sheffield did. Yeah, clearly a foul ball.
He was one of the scariest hitters that I ever faced. Dragging that bat around, and you knew he was going to hit a rocket somewhere.
Just hopefully not back at me.
Ball and 2 strikes on J.D. Martinez. This is low. There's a long connection between Martinez and some of the Tigers personnel. We talked about his time with Dave Clark with the Astros. But J.D. also played with Al Avila's, who's the assistant general manager of the Tigers, played with his son Alan at Nova Southeastern. And it has been a breakout year as he fouls it off. The Avilas in that Tigers front office, they go back with J.D. Martinez to his amateur days. So this is a guy that they know very well. They know his family. They know his background. There's Al Avila, who is Dombrowski's assistant general manager with his wife Yamil.
Yeah, they all played in the same Optimus League. And that's why we knew so much about J.D. and about his family, what kind of guy he was.
So a good character went a long ways, having known him.
And he knew where he came from.
Right.
Plus the fact that Dave Clark, the third base coach this year, had seen him in Houston more recently and spoke for him too.
There's Dave. Just ask him, what has been the transition with J.D.? He laughs. You won't even believe it. And they showed it well in our pregame show. Hanging tough with 2 strikes. And putting another long at-bat on Chris Tillman.
I mean, this happens a lot with Tillman. It really does. I mean, you see what he goes 6 innings, you know, and that's the reason why. I mean, a strong kid like that can throw 125 pitches, but high fastballs are foul balls.
9th pitch of the at-bat.
2-2. He misses the cut fastball. Moving away from the right-handed hitter. There's Alex Avila, the other son of Al Avila, the assistant general manager. Watching these 2 guys as amateurs, and here they are in the big leagues in the postseason. Finally, they ground out and another 3 up, 3 down inning. About 9 in a row retired by Tillman. 3-2 Baltimore. In the kitchen tonight, on the menu tomorrow. Ty Pennington and Emerald team up for On the Menu. Series premiere tomorrow, 8/7 Central, fresh from TNT. Well, a sea of orange. Orange represents the Tigers as well, and they're represented. You can't spot them out there in the masses, but Tigers fans representing as best they can. This series will head to Detroit on Sunday. First two here in Baltimore, day off Saturday. Max Scherzer starts his fourth inning. J.J. Hardy will lead off. Scherzer coming off a 3-up, 3-down frame with a couple of strikeouts in the third. We'll see if he has fully settled in here. And he spots the edge with a fastball. And he's got Hardy going too quickly.
He gets down on the side like that. He's got to yank it all the way across his body.
Hardy out to the shortstop, Romine. And one gone here in the fourth inning. Well, between innings, we had a chance to catch up with first-year Tigers manager Brad Ausmus. Well, Brad, your first year as a manager, you're in the postseason. What's going through your mind? The nerves, the expectations. How's it been this first few innings?
You know what? It's been the same as when I was a player. Once the first pitch is thrown, it's baseball as usual. So, other than the fans yelling, "Let's go O's," it's very similar to what I've experienced in the past.
Brad, this is Zach. How about Scherzer out there? He didn't seem himself the first couple of innings, but it looks like he found himself last inning.
Yeah, he did. Jeff Jones and he were talking about a little mechanical adjustment prior to last inning, and he certainly looked a lot better. He was more downhill. His slider was breaking, had more action down instead of across.
And our thanks to Brad Ausmus, spending a little time with us between innings. Jim Leyland here in Detroit for 8 years. Ausmus, he recognized when he got the job the caliber of team that the Tigers had, a chance to compete for a World Series. As Flaherty cuts and misses on a Scherzer fastball. Much different style than Jim Leyland, pretty soft-spoken guy. Manager's office not full of smoke. And Brad Ausmus, manager's reaching the postseason in his first season with the Tigers. Slow roll, Avila, nice play. Oh, beauty. He played some infield in college at Alabama, and he looked like a third baseman right there as he takes care of
Scherzer got out of the way. That was the first thing that needed to happen. This is not his play, but this is a very athletic play by Avila right there. Makes it look easy. You go out there and you got to get it.
Well done. Only play he had was with the bare hand, so an ex-catcher appreciates that.
So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Nick Hundley. 6 in a row retired by Scherzer. He's a slider.
Different guy.
Yeah.
Different guy than the first 2 innings.
First 2 innings, a lot of damage done, which essentially the first time through the batting order. First 2 innings, Scherzer gave up 4 hits. Scoring those 3 runs, had the 2-run homer by Nelson Cruz with 2 outs. Markakis and a 2-out RBI single in the second inning. Scherzer's giving up nothing since. Hasn't even been in the windup since that Markakis RBI single.
There's that front shoulder with him. You see how he kind of yanks it out of there? I mean, there's a fine line because you need to torque it, but sometimes you get a little too amped up early in the game, can't find it.
And Hundley skies one to left. JD Martinez eases in. And now Scherzer settled in. Let's see if Tillman can keep the Tigers down. Detroit coming up. We head to the 5th. The O's lead 3-2. packed house at Camden Yards. Back in the postseason here in Birdland. They made it in 2012, had 14 consecutive losing seasons until Buck Showalter's crew made it in 2 years ago. Here's Tillman, big curveball to start the inning against Alex Avila. And Buck Showalter will employ the shift a great deal, and the shift is on for Avila. One of the strongest armed second baseman in the league. That scope out there in the grass. In shallow right, playing in a rover position.
I think fans are really going to enjoy watching Scope play for all the things that he can do.
Well, Avila has struck out against Tillman in the second inning. There's a ground ball. Pierce is there. Tillman's got to cover. That's a tough hook out, but no problem. Steve Pierce to Chris Tillman like a wide receiver cutting across the middle. Led it beautifully.
And moving to his right like that to backhand the ball. His momentum still taking him to second base. Makes it that much harder. And it was right on the money. Tillman never had to slow down.
They talked about how good of a defensive player that Pierce is. I guess he played first base at South Carolina before for a long time, and he's made the move perfectly.
It's one thing to have your manager rave about you, as Buck Showalter was. It's another thing when your middle infielders talk about your skill at first base. J.J. Hardy, Jonathan Scope. They appreciate the efforts that Pierce has put in. He's become an above-average fielder in their opinion and Showalter's opinion. He saves a lot of errors over there. This is one of the better defensive teams in all of Major League Baseball, the Orioles. Shot, and it's knocked down by Tillman. And 2 outs in the inning as Castellanos is retired. 2 quick ones for Tillman. Moments ago, he had a chance to catch up with Orioles manager Buck Showalter. Well, Buck, you're back in the postseason, and you've now taken the Orioles to the postseason twice. Talk about your club this year and all the mixing and matching you've had to do just to get to this point.
Well, we don't have that much time, but it's there's a lot of morale in the organizations at a high. The scouts, the player development, everybody's made such a contribution, and obviously most importantly the players. As a look up from up there, guys, these are a pretty good group of people here, huh?
Beautiful and orange.
Yeah. Buck, this is Joe. I was wanting to ask you about Tillman. Off to a great start with the 3 strikeouts. It seemed like he was throwing harder than we expected to see him.
Well, isn't adrenaline a great thing? To be young. I remember those days. How about you guys?
Yeah. Hardly.
Yeah. No, he's till he's graduated. He's a guy that he gets the competition. He doesn't overthink it, and he knows who he is. And more times than not, he gives us a chance to win. That's all you can ask.
Thanks to Buck Showalter, a 2-out hit. Andrew Romine breaks the string for Tillman, who had retired 11 straight. Always fun to talk to Buck, and since he went into a broadcasting career briefly before he came back to manage, I like interviewing him because he interviews us.
Yes, he does.
And he asks us questions. And he is a lot of fun to talk to. Very smart. And always willing to kind of take it through without being defensive about why he makes certain moves and how he'll play certain players.
Years ago when I saw him across the field, and I'm talking years ago, I thought he was mean. Didn't he look like he had a snarl to him?
Never took his hands out of his coat pocket.
Right. But knowing him now, this guy is funny. I mean, easygoing. He looks like he's having fun.
And he even admits that he's learned a lot. He's changed a lot. 4th club he has managed. There's a ground ball. That's going to sneak through. Rajay Davis past a diving Flaherty, and Davis comes up with another 2-out hit. So back-to-back singles with 2 outs, and the bottom of this Tigers order has set it up for Ian Kinsler as we go back to the top here in the 5th.
See the swing here by Davis. He sort of lunges out over one-handed swing, gets by Flaherty, just barely by Flaherty. to left field for a base hit. I saw Davis running to first, limping.
Yeah, he's definitely not 100%. And if you'd watched him today and they were kind of testing him, you would have thought the same thing. He was very much laboring. He's the kind of guy that's going to take a big turn and think about two. He couldn't there.
Big spot for Tillman. 2 outs, 5th inning. Kinsler, who's 0 for 2 tonight, and Tillman starts him with a strike. Got a call. Kinsler has seen everything more than once that Tillman has to offer. He had a 14-pitch at bat in the 3rd inning. It ended in a little soft line on the third base. He shattered his back.
Not a bad guy to have up here with 92 RBIs in the leadoff spot.
Speaking of guys to have up, how about your setup man loosening in the 5th inning? Buck Showalter to talk to us about in the playoffs, you got to close innings. Sometimes those innings you have to close are in the 5th or the 6th, and his 8th inning pitcher is getting loose a lot earlier than he's accustomed to.
Absolutely. He's got a lot of guys to work with down there. Not the same for Detroit. They can't fluctuate as much as the Orioles can.
And a lot of heat on this pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 on for the Tigers. And Kinsler into the ball. 95 with the fastball from Tillman. That single by Romine with 2 outs has put Tillman in the stretch for the first time in his game. Remember the back-to-back homers. Didn't need to go into the stretch. He has a bit of a modified windup anyway. Good block by Hundley. Keeps the runners at first and second. Now the count at 2-2.
Kinsler's going to be all over that fastball.
Two pitch and away for a ball. Fastball that was down and away.
Now remember, he got him swinging in the 1st inning upstairs. Wanted to go back there here to hoping they'll chase another one.
He fouled off a ton of them that went at bat, that lengthy at bat. So he's seen enough of them.
If he goes up, he better go well above his hands.
Here's a big one. You saw Hunter on deck. The runners will start with the pitch. 3-2 on the way. There they go. Kinsler fouls one to the right side. You know, Ian Kinsler will not be intimidated by an environment like this. Been to the World Series with the Rangers. Actually had 9 hits in that 2011 World Series against St. Louis. His last postseason game was actually against Baltimore that year. Had a couple of hits in that game. It was in a wild card game loss against the Orioles.
He's going to throw him, I don't think he's going to throw him a breaker ball. He's going to throw him gas.
3-2 with 2 on. There they go. Kinsler is another one away.
It's like he knows where the fastball is going. He's not sure about the other one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Tillman knows that Hunter is warming up, but he knows he's somewhere around 100 pitches. You know, halfway through the game, and he's trying to figure out a way to get out of his inning and stay in the game.
Believe me, he's been through these games before, just trying to get through the 5th inning because he's got too many pitches.
Right.
Well, Tillman had retired 11 in a row, but he needed nearly 70 pitches to get through that string of 11. So it's pushed him to 97. Postseason pitches a lot more taxing than regular season offerings.
Has a hard time throwing that curveball for a strike.
Pitch number 8. Runners go again. So Romine and Davis getting in their sprints. And all these foul balls by Kinsler.
And you see that chart too, the pitch chart. They're all, the pattern is all in about the same place, that he keeps fouling off to the right side, up and away, up and away. So now, does he dare come in after all that setup away?
Only batter Tillman did not retire with 2 strikes was Victor Martinez, who hit one out.
Take my hat off. He tried to dart him inside.
Pitch number 9. Runners go outside, ball 4. Wow.
Oh, that was a change-up.
Yeah, that was a beaut.
I think he fooled the umpire. I mean, he can't throw this changeup in a better spot. I mean, that is. Oof.
How did he lay off?
Yes, I mean, that is so close. He could have rung him up, but it was a ball.
Decision time here for Showalter. He's got Hunter ready in the bullpen. Bases are loaded. This could be Tillman's last hitter. I can't imagine he'd face Cabrera. Hunter tried to bunt for a hit on the first pitch last time up. Again, chases that first pitch. All of this began with 2 outs. He had 2 quick ones, Avila and Castellanos on the ground, and then back-to-back hits by Romine and Davis. 2-out walk to Kinsler.
Yeah, changeup's almost like a sinker. See that big hole between first and second. About a year ago, Hunter changed his. Ever since he came to Detroit, he changed his swing, right? Hitting the ball the other way. I mean, that's his stroke right there. We've seen him do it a lot. That's why his average went up when he got to Detroit.
And Nick Markakis in right field has 11 assists this year. Very accurate throwing arm.
1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers have it loaded and off the foot of Hunter.
As soon as that pitch was about to be made, Steve Pearce moved over and kind of plugged that hole there.
Yes, he did.
All right. Well, the big one coming.
Maybe make him chase high cheese right here. Everything's been down.
5th innings can feel like 9th innings in the postseason. Tillman on a 1-2. Hunter fouls it away.
That's it.
Hunter has 45 career games in the postseason. Minnesota Angels with the Tigers last year. Another veteran guy. Won't be moved at this environment.
It sets up that changeup, doesn't it? I mean, follow it up with a straight change.
Another 1-2. Another foul ball.
Well, he's throwing a ton of fastballs.
And he's still throwing hard.
Yeah.
93, 94 back to back.
Good visit to the mound by Hundley. If nothing else, just to give him a breather.
I mean, have you seen a lot of high fastballs tonight or what?
Yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Easy, fella. You got 4 more innings to go.
He'll be exhausted by the end of this game.
He may not make it.
Only 1 hit all season with the bases loaded. Another 1-2 coming from Tillman. And on the ground, Flaherty will go the easy way and just out at second base. Kinsler was on his horse, but Chris Tillman survives the tricky 5th and stays away from some of the big bats of the Tigers. Orioles still lead 3-2.
Baltimore still has a 1-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th, thanks to a first baseman type play by this guy, Jonathan Schoop. Watch him shift his feet across the bag like a first baseman so that he could stretch for this ball and ensure the out as Kinsley was hustling down the line. Great play by the 22-year-old.
And a huge play with Cabrera due next. Tillman and the O's able to get out of the inning, still with the lead. Schoop swings at the first pitch. That's going to end up in the seats.
It doesn't seem like that much at the time, but when you go back to looking at it, it was a big play.
And a lot of times the second baseman will just be standing at the bag, step to the ball, but he really shifted his feet like a first baseman would. Good play.
The urgency of the postseason. How many 5-4 putouts in the regular season you don't even think about? The runner usually won't even make it that close. Kinsler was flying down the line trying to beat that throw, and
this guy's 6'3", and he had a good reach.
Schoop flailing away there, fouls it back.
He's a little bit younger than the wave of Curacao players that kind of came together. Anderson Simmons, Didi Gregorius, Kenneth Jansen,
Bogart,
all those guys played together, and Schoop was a little bit behind them age-wise.
Schoop and Jurickson Profar were the two guys that came up together. They're very good friends. Profar of the Texas Rangers. Schoop speaks 4 languages: English, Spanish, Dutch, and in his home country, Papiamento. Batting 9th in this order, and he's got some pop in that 9-hole. And he sends that one into right center field. Hunter will close on it. No problem for Torrey Hunter. Scherzer with his first out. Now you can follow the postseason with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball, highlights, scores, live radio broadcast, and replay reviews and more. Get the At Bat app today. Ausmus and Buck Showalter in a series between the Orioles and the Tigers that has that mid-80s kind of feel, right? Sparky Anderson and Earl Weaver. Tigers won the World Series in 1984, their last World Series. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary of that World Series. The Orioles won it in 1983. And they match up again here in 2014. Winner headed to the American League Championship Series.
That 84 team, the Tigers got off to what, 35-5 start. And this year they got off to a great start. Everybody thought they were just going to walk away with it.
Markakis in the infield. And that's a long run. Not an easy play here. And Castellanos has to grab it with some urgency for out number 2. Let's check in with our studio in Atlanta. Casey Stern, take it away, Casey. All right, Casey, thanks. We welcome Casey to our group this year. Doing a great job in the studio. Gary Sheffield, Pedro Martinez. Thanks to Todd Frazier for joining us as well. 2 outs in the inning. Scherzer has settled in here after giving up 3 runs in the first 2 innings. Got 2 away. De Aza at the plate. And a bunt. This is a good one. Castellanos on the bare hand throw to first. And it is dug out in time. Wow, what a play by Cabrera. On both ends, Castellanos to Cabrera, and a death stare by Miggy. Said I had it all the way.
What'd you think of that tee?
What's with the stare by Cabrera?
I don't know.
It's a nice pick right there. Good play right here. And the end of this is even better.
2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Bucktober. In Buck we trust here in Baltimore, they say. New pitcher. Showalter is making the move. So Tillman is out, and hard-throwing lefty, part of that great left-right combo bullpen that you talked about, Eck. In the open, Andrew Miller is the first one out.
Well, he was the prize during the trade deadline. They got him from Boston just to add on to an already good bullpen. This kid throws over 95 with a wipeout slider. Talk about punch-outs galore. The numbers that he's put up the last couple of years. He's found his niche. He was a starting pitcher, big draft choice for the Tigers years ago. Got traded to Florida for Cabrera, did he not?
Right, he did. He was in that deal that brought Cabrera to Detroit. Cabrera leads off this inning. Cabrera, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez. And the Orioles, who put a lot of faith and trust in their bullpen, are in there maybe an inning early than they would like. Tillman able to wrestle through 5 innings, and he was able to get out of a bases loaded jam in the 5th. As Cabrera tracks one in for a strike, 3-1.
You've got to be a little amped up this postseason game. First time out there.
Hitters count for Cabrera. And a breaking ball on a 3-1 pitch, and he snaps it in.
Tells you everything right there. Going to that 3-1 breaking ball, having the command of that. He's just shortened his stride is what he's done. Helped his control.
3-2. Cabrera trying to shoot one to right field, fouls it away.
But as you pointed out in the open, Dennis, they got 4 guys. So while most ball clubs are happy to have a 7th, 8th, and 9th guy, they only need the starter to go 5. Especially in a short series, they can go to these guys quite a bit, and they can shorten it that much in the ball game because there's.
And that's what Buck Showalter's all about, matching up.
Full count to Cabrera. Pulls that one foul. Back to the off-speed pitch for Miller.
And he's got a left-hander like Miller that he's not afraid to. He gets right-handers out just as well as left-handers.
And they're not just one batter guys. They're not usually just brought in to face one guy, specialists to get out of the inning. Like you said, he can get lefties, righties out just like O'Day can.
With that early combination of Miller and Darren O'Day, the sidewinding right-hander, and then Hunter and Zach Britton. Britton is the closer, a left-handed power sinker pitcher.
We'll get into it because they have all these different angles out of the bullpen. Submariner, one guy. You see him left-handed coming way over from the other side. Britton right over top of that nasty sinker at the end of the game.
Fell behind him 3-0, 3-2, the 9th pitch, and Cabrera takes one off the plate. And ball 4 as Cabrera will turn it over to Victor Martinez, a lead runner on here in the 6th for the Tigers. You can get Scott Miller's answers to all the playoffs burning questions with the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report. Download Team Stream for your iPad, iPhone, or Android device today.
As we say so many times in the postseason, a walk is a rally, and especially a leadoff walk with the middle of their order coming up.
Well, Cabrera is aboard to start it. The switch hitter Martinez will turn around and hit right-handed against the hard-throwing Miller. Victor homered with 2 outs. Or check it to lead off the 2nd inning. A solo shot. And with this crowd all revved up and Cruz putting the Orioles on the board, Victor Martinez quieted him down quickly. His 6th career postseason home run.
To put you away with that sweeping breaking ball.
Martinez grounded into 17 double plays in the regular season, hit a ton of homers. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Miller. A sharp breaking ball down and in. And Victor Martinez, a strikeout victim for the first out.
He's throwing enough of those breaking balls to Cabrera, so he had a feel for it. He buries this ball in the dirt, and that's exactly how you're going to punch him out. 0-2 pitch. He can afford to throw it down there, and he gets the punch out.
Good back foot breaking ball right over the top of it.
When Brad Ausmus talks about J.D. Martinez saving their lineup and changing the dynamic of their lineup, this is what they're talking about here. Past Victor Martinez without the year that J.D. had, you feel like you're on the downhill slope at this point. But now the year that Martinez has posted, he is a major threat, and he's up with Cabrera at first base, and he can give the Tigers a lead with one swing of the bat just as easily as the other two.
He was right on that pitch. He just fouled off.
And I think it's because he likes going the other way. He'll drive the ball the other way, comfortable doing that. Victor, it looked like he's trying to pull the ball.
Right by him with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-2.
And that's some late hump right there, 95. That long arm coming at you.
6-7.
Don't you have to feature that breaking ball in the dirt again? He did.
And Martinez takes.
Good call.
Able to check his swing.
That same spot, too.
Cabrera started the inning with a walk. Long battle with Miller.
Martinez, he looks locked in. Even with 2 strikes.
Got it. Back to it. Back-to-back Ks. The two guys who hit back-to-back homers. Miller strikes them both out.
That's why it doesn't matter right-handed, left-handed, because that's the equalizer, that breaking ball right there. That's how good it is. Can you imagine being a left-handed hitter trying to hit that breaking ball? He makes right-handers look bad.
Yeah, lefties would be chasing it in the other batter's box. It's a hard breaking ball.
Alex Avila for 2 tonight. The Tigers have struck out 8 times as we play here in the 6th. And a big wave and a miss. This is a tough matchup for Alex Avila.
He's got no chance. I mean, really, if he just makes a pitch, he's got no chance. This is when you have to stay focused and don't just think I could throw a couple of breaking balls and the guy, I got an out.
Huge strikeout numbers for Miller, about 15 Ks per 9 innings this year. This shows him the fastball.
But Martinez was talking about this before the game tonight, as you see the splits for Alex Avila. Also hitting lefties better than right. But Buck was talking about how some pitchers now used to say if they're not at the big leagues and producing at age 26, then they're not going to. Guys at a later age now, from a pitching standpoint, are beginning to develop a little bit later. And Miller is one of those guys who struggled when he was in Florida after the trade.
Oh, he missed. Thought he had the corner.
He did have the corner. I got to have that. That's a strike.
Such a big swing pitch as you see his strikeout numbers. That 1-1 count to go to 2-1, offering up his glasses for the umpire. That's old school. Now it's a 2-1 count. Puts Avila in a better spot. Cabrera still standing at first base. And Avila got a hanger, but he missed it. Pops it up, and J.J. Hardy is there. Inning over. Andrew Miller, one piece to the bullpen puzzle, holds the Tigers scoreless in the 6th. Sellout crowd, game one of the ALDS, nearly 48,000 in the house tonight, Oriole Park at Camden Yards. And we got a good game going here. 3-2 Baltimore. All of the runs came inside the first 2 innings. Orioles took the lead on a 2-out RBI single by Markakis in the 2nd inning. Tillman and Scherzer, the 2 starters. Tillman is out after 5 innings. Andrew Miller puts up a 0 for the Orioles in the 6th, and here we go to the bottom of the 6th. Scherzer against Adam Jones to start it. First ball swinging, he fouls it back. Scherzer has retired 10 straight. A terrific play. A couple of guys not known for their defense, but both with very good plays on either end of a Diaza ground ball to third base. A little bunt. Castellanos to Miguel Cabrera to end that last inning.
What, after all those fireworks in the first couple of innings with balls flying out of here like crazy, both pitchers settled in. Tillman ran into a little trouble there when he got the bases loaded, but Scherzer has really calmed down.
He's found his slot.
Yeah.
Fly ball to center. Rajay Davis for the first out. A good changeup from Scherzer. So we talked to Brad Ausmus earlier in the game, and he made a note that Scherzer and Jeff Jones, terrific pitching coach of the Tigers, made a little bit of a mechanical adjustment after those first 2 innings, and whatever Jeff Jones said was to Ausmus's left. It has worked in a big way. It's 11 in a row he's retired now.
Well, ultimately, it's just jumping a little bit, you know, flying open that front shoulder. Typically, that's most of the time what it is.
And he said something to the effect of throwing a little more downhill.
Well, he throws. You see his angle, man. He's got to really, you know, focus on getting on top, because when you're on the side, it's just a hair from being underneath it.
Nelson Cruz, who homered off Scherzer in that monster ALCS when he was a member of the Rangers playing against the Detroit Tigers.
Tied Babe Ruth with that home run.
Good one.
Postseason homers.
Cruz with his 15th career postseason home run, tying Babe Ruth for 10th all time. Babe Ruth and Baltimore. That is a strong connection. Babe Ruth was born here as a statue outside Camden Yards. Babe's dream. And there's a call on strike 3. Punched him out, and Scherzer is fired up. Racks up a K. He struck out Cruz the last 2 trips to the plate.
Boy, he dialed one up there, didn't he? Completely fooled him. He didn't even have to throw it that hard. He just had to get it in there. He was thinking of something else, but he brings 97 to me right down Broadway.
Yeah. That's the first strikeout for Scherzer since he punched out Cruz back in the 3rd inning. He has 3 now. That is Darren O'Day. So Miller got the 6th. O'Day looks like he'll have the 7th. Impressive inning for Andrew Miller, having to go through the heart of that Tigers order. Didn't walk Cabrera, but got through Martinez, and then we got Avila to win the inning. Steve Pearce is 0 for 2. Home runs during the regular season, hit for a high average. And that one's hit deep, left field, way back there. Pearce off the base of the wall. Martinez gets it in quickly, might have a play here, and the tag out at second.
I'm not sure Pearce jumped out of the box. He looked like he thought he was out of here, and he wasn't.
A single thrown out at second base. The Tigers, not known for their outfield defense, picking up a huge out to end the inning. We are through 6. thought he hit one out. Max Scherzer thought he hit one out, but J.D. Martinez plays it perfectly off the wall and guns down Pierce, trying to stretch it into a double. That's how the Tigers finish off the 6th inning. Now we go to the 7th. And it is not O'Day. Buck Showalter is going to stick with Andrew Miller here to face Castellanos to start this inning. Let's take it back to that last play, Joe.
Well, the one thing about the Tigers outfield defense is that this is a play that the Orioles are supposed to make. J.D. Martinez with an excellent play off the wall and a great tag by Kinsler to get Pierce. Pierce helped in that also. He thought he went deep.
And you see Scherzer's reaction as well. He thought Pierce went deep also. He had company. Tried to turn on the burners, but Martinez with a good throw. That was a heck of a play by Kinsler.
It really was. Kinsler was waiting and waiting and waiting desperately to make a real good pick and get over there and tag him. Shoved it in his face almost.
J.D. Martinez only had one outfield assist this year coming into the postseason.
Now, we mentioned it in the beginning of the broadcast. The opponents offensively take liberties with the Tigers outfielders. They try to take extra bases, try to go first to third, stretch them into doubles. Didn't work that time.
That ball came off perfectly though.
Little half swing roller back to the mound. Miller flips it over to Pierce for the first out.
Well, as is the case so many times, if you just run hard, it solves a lot of problems, and it would have solved the problem for Pierce.
Now, only 15 outfield assists this season, the second fewest in the American League. And as Joe mentioned, that's just the second all season for Martinez. Well, now you start to think along with Buck Showalter, which is a scary proposition, but he had O'Day ready. O'Day warming up that entire last inning while the Orioles were at the plate. But you're at the bottom of the order here, and he's sticking with Miller.
He's trying to get as many outs as he can out of Miller because he'd like to start the next inning with O'Day. You got the 3 tough right-handers at the top of the lineup. You know, with Kinsler and Hunter and Cabrera. That's the perfect way out of this. The lower part of the lineup you'd think Miller could handle.
While O'Day continues to throw.
And it's just the 8th time this year that he's thrown more than 1 inning. And 2 innings is his max so far this season. Well, if he gets through this inning without any problems, he's got 3 guys for the last 2 innings.
For the last 6 outs. Andrew Romine with 1 out. 8th place hitter in this Tigers order. He had a 2-out single in the 5th inning. A little flare foul. Two guys who were acquired by their respective organizations. Romine, the end of spring training from the Angels, coming to Detroit. And a trade deadline deal from the Red Sox for Miller to Baltimore. And that was a big pickup for Dan DeKemp. 1-2. See what he gives him here. Fastball rides it high, and Romine able to foul it off.
Tigers are not able to square anything up. Yeah, they've been fouling off a lot of pitches. They may need to write a letter to somebody, see if they can get a gift or 2. There we go. But other than the 2 homers and then the guys at the bottom of the order with those 2 singles, not much going on offensively for Detroit.
Miller deals a breaking ball low. Good take there by Andrew Romine. He's had a couple of terrific at-bats, even though his first at-bat ended in a strikeout against Tillman in the 2nd inning. That was a 9-pitch battle. That single with 2 outs in the 5th. And he got him. Miller strikes him out. Hundley secures it at first. That's the 3rd K for Andrew Miller. He's retired 5 straight. And don't forget, the suspense continues tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. Giants Nationals. Matt Vasgersian and John Smoltz will be there. That's 3 p.m. on FS1. And Joe Buck, Tom Verducci, Harold Reynolds will call the Cardinals and the Dodgers 6:30 p.m. on FS1. That's the National getting their LDS underway. And Buck Showalter is going to take the ball from Miller, and he will exit to a standing ovation.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Beautiful scene here on a Thursday night at Camden Yards. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. All of the runs courtesy of the home run ball, with the exception of Markakis's two-out RBI single in the second inning. It's 3-2 Baltimore, and heck, here comes Darren O'Day, the sidewinding right-hander.
Mr. Laredo down under. We talk about been doing this a long time. Remember him having success in Texas, and then he came over here and it's continued. You see the numbers he's put up this year, probably one of his best years he's had.
Andrew Miller gives the Orioles 5 big outs, 5 in a row with 3 Ks after he walked Cabrera to start the 6th. Rajay Davis with 2 outs. O'Day slings in a breaking ball. Davis had a single his last time up. That was in the 5th inning. He's 1 out of 2. How about those numbers? 3 for 8. That's a small sample size, but 2 doubles among those 3 hits against O'Day. Davis has been in the American League East with Toronto. Knows him well. Numbers for Andrew Miller. Impressive. Strikeouts of Victor and J.D. Martinez, and then he just struck out Romine, his last hitter. On the ground, Hardy has a strong arm. Davis not running well, and the Tigers are done in the 7th. His bullpen standing up tall. Fired up in Birdland. O's lead 3-2. What a way to get this series started. Game 1 of this American League Division Series. 2 division winners this year, the Tigers and the Orioles. A lot of offense early. 3 home runs in the first 2 innings. And a 3-2 Baltimore lead. The pitchers have dominated since. That's tonight's game summary brought to you by Geico. Brian Anderson with Dennis Eckersley and Joe Simpson. Heck, the Orioles, they got to feel like they're right where they want to be. They've got a lead late. They've outlasted Scherzer, and that great bullpen is in there.
Well, that's the script. I think they could have gotten more out of Tillman if they hadn't had so many big pitch counts, right? Or he could have gave him 6. But that's what they do here. I mean, you talk about Miller doing his job. Doesn't care if it's right-handed or left-handed hitters. He goes out there and gives you multiple innings. You get an out by O'Day, whether or not he stays in this game or not, I don't know. You still got Hunter and Britton out there. And for them, that's the formula for them. I don't know how many times they could do it in the playoffs, but that's what they're trying to do.
This game's not over.
Yeah.
There was a game here earlier in the season where Cabrera and one of his teammates, Victor Martinez, went deep late in the ball game. Might have been the 9th inning to win a ball game against the Orioles. Now that was when Hunter was the closer, so things are a little different. But you still got to navigate your way through the middle of their order one more time.
That's right. Top of the order coming up next for the Tigers, and dripping with decisions here that these 2 managers are going to have to make. By the way, play postseason showdown throughout October. Simply pick the winners of head-to-head player matchups between Detroit and Baltimore for your chance to win a pair of 2015 season tickets for your favorite team. MLB.com/showdown to play now. As we get going here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Max Scherzer, the Tigers starter, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, he is on the mound to start this inning. He has been very efficient since his early troubles in the first 2 innings.
Yeah, he hasn't worked out of the stretch since he gave up that single to Markakis.
I mean, he turned it all the way around. He found his slot, and he's after it.
J.J. Hardy batting for the 3rd time. He lined out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th. And Hardy hammers that one deep left center field. That is way back there. And J.J. Hardy adds 1 for the Orioles.
In the regular season, a number that was a little off what he normally knocks out of the ballpark, but he got one right down the middle of the plate there and didn't miss it.
Start saying nice things about Scherzer, and then you get a big insurance run.
Huge run.
Is it ever? J.J. Hardy. And he knew it was gone. 4-2. Ausmus and the Tigers down a pair. Scherzer carries on here. Flaherty, deep right field. That is going to get into the corner, foul. Looking to run an extra base hit down the line.
Great extension, short swing. The guy who's battling a bad back first part of the season and feeling good now. Swinging the bat really well right now.
Well, what he told us yesterday, we asked him about the home runs and why they were down and more base hits to right field. He talked about that back and really just couldn't let it go. It was tight, felt like all season. He never went on the disabled list, but he never could shake it either. But he did say a couple of days off, he feels like a brand new man. And that was a J.J. Hardy home run swing from last year right there.
They're lucky they afforded him to take time off. You think about the last 2 weeks.
His first career postseason home run. Flaherty strikes out, so Scherzer comes right back, picks up a K. Remember, he gave up that bullet to Pierce, who was trying to stretch it into a double in the 6th, and then a home run to Hardy, so he needed that. 4th strikeout for Max Scherzer, and the first out, and the congratulations still come for J.J. Hardy.
A lot of people feeling good in that dugout over there.
Nick Hundley now with one away.
You talk about this series and how they're going to manage the pitching staffs. We know what Buck Showalter is going to do. He's going to mix and match. You think about Brad Ausmus with these Cy Young Award winners. He's going to have to stay with them longer. I mean, with the way their bullpen has been, you know, much aligned, talked about, you know that you're going to stick in with those three pitchers as long as that Buck would.
Empty bullpens, if you're wondering. Ausmus is going to let it ride with Scherzer. He's come back with 2 strikeouts. Back-to-back Ks after the home run by Hardy. Numbers 4 and 5 for Scherzer, 2 away in the 7th. American Dad can do whatever they want on TBS because that's the freedom of cable, baby. The brand new edgier series starts October 20th at 9/8 Central, only on TBS. Very funny. 2 outs. Here is Jonathan Scope. Scope turns one around foul.
That's a big kid. I mean, all the scouting reports and stuff that I went over, all the video I saw, doesn't do him justice. He is a big kid.
Yeah, you got to see him in person.
Yeah.
Not your prototypical second baseman build. Not like Neil Walker of the Pittsburgh Pirates. That is a strike, and it's 0-2 on Scope.
He reminds me of a young Miguel Cabrera. Remember when Cabrera came up as a 19-year-old and played in the World Series? That's kind of who he reminds me of body-wise.
Well, he gets his swings in too, huh? He's going to get at least 3 swings every at bat.
And that's a rule. When you go in the Baltimore clubhouse, it's posted.
0-2 the count. Scherzer trying to get through 7, and a swing and a miss. Scope is down on strikes. Scherzer strikes out 3 after J.J. Hardy goes deep. A Gold Glove shortstop with an impact bat. His first career postseason homer. It's 4-2 Orioles. Tonight's bullpen comparison presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. And the Tigers and the Orioles. See the numbers. Orioles outstanding out of their bullpen this season. Tigers were 13th in the American League. The Orioles were 3rd in relief ERA. And a lot of that damage came early in the season when Tommy Hunter was closing. Since Britton has taken over, it has changed a great deal. O'Day answers one question. He comes back out to start the 8th with the top of the Tigers order coming up here. And Detroit now down 2 after the J.J. Hardy home run.
To emphasize what you're talking about, Brian, the Orioles, when they lead after 7, are 75-7 for the year. They just didn't mess up too much at the end of the ballgame.
This right-hander is so tough to hit. You got that, the sliders almost rise.
Former teammates with the Rangers, O'Day and Kinsler. 0-2, and that one misses low and away. Orioles expecting Kinsler, if he does hit one on the ground, it's going to be to the left side. Between those blue beams are where most of his hits come. Between 3rd and 2nd. 50% of his hits this year come between those two lines, and that's why you see 3 infielders on that side. 1-2 pitch. The other question about what Buck Showalter would do here at the end of this game. Remember, Tommy Hunter was warming up in the 5th inning. And he has not been up since. Britton is the one getting loose, his closer, so he's going to try to get the last 6 outs between O'Day and Britton here.
I mean, it is a playoffs. You can go more than 1 inning.
A defensive swing. He stays alive. 2-2 on Kinsler.
O'Day looks like he's going to go submarine. His body tilts over so far, it looks like he's going to go Dan Quisenberry.
Not all the way.
But he does it, but he's more sidearm.
Yes.
His body tells you one thing, his arm's different.
A little more velocity. Dan Quisenberry didn't have velocity at all.
He has dominated right-handed hitters all season. And tries to get Kinsler to chase a high one.
You don't see that many 88-mile-an-hour from him, and as you said, looks like he's going to go way down under, but comes out of it to try to get something on it.
A little difficult to pick up if you're the hitter.
Full count. Leadoff hitter for the Tigers in the 8th. And off the end of the bat, nobody's over there. Somebody's got to cover first. Pierce fires, and it's caught but safe. O'Day made a heck of a play to keep that one from the dugout, as Ian Kinsler is aboard on an infield hit. Now the Tigers will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 8th.
O'Day forgot there was a shift on because he didn't break right away. That was an excellent play by Pierce and a great throw, but he wasn't there in time.
You know, you don't expect a squibbler like that, but he was way over. Pierce was way over. He was just late covering. That would have been a tough play anyway. It probably would have been bang, bang. He had to lead him. He led him all right, but he's late.
One of those moments where the shift hurts. Not having a second baseman on that side cost him, and Kinsler, the little weak ground ball, is aboard.
Like you said, that run last inning was huge.
Here's Torrey Hunter now.
As the offense to put together a multi-runner inning to try to catch up.
And it might ground Kinsler at first base as well. If it's a 1-run game, pretty good chance he might try to steal a base in a spot like this.
Exactly. But with the thunder coming up for these guys, you got to kind of stay right there and wait to see if one of these guys will hit a 2-run home.
Which will keep the Orioles in a double play opportunity.
O'Day doesn't look all that sharp tonight either.
They're not biting on the breaking ball of O'Day. Counts on that.
It was a non-competitive pitch, and that ball never was there.
You're not going to offer it that one.
Third base coach Dave Clark going through the signals.
He doesn't want to hang one, that's for sure.
Under the Orioles outfielders, all with very good arms, all three spots. If there's a ball down the line or in a gap, all their infielders throw the ball well. Tough to score from first in this park with those players. Torrey Hunter in a favorable count now, 2-0, with the dangerous Miguel Cabrera on deck.
He's got to be looking middle in. Anything away that he can't really drive, he's just got to let it go. But look something middle in that he might make a mistake on. And then see if he can do some damage.
Day looks like he's scuffling, walking around back of the mound. Can't find his release point because those sliders aren't even close.
Hunter's got a big pop, especially to the opposite field, especially in this park. Torrey Hunter had 17 home runs in the regular season.
We'll try that sinker right here.
2-0 the count. Hunter takes a strike. Boy, he got a call there, and Hunter's not happy.
He sat out there, he hit the glove, and it looked good.
That changes the at-bat, does it not?
Big time.
Well, totally.
Might change the whole inning.
Didn't get a good look at it. That ball's outside.
Huntley stuck the landing for home plate umpire Paul Schreiber. Made it look good. 2 balls and a strike. Infield hit for Kinsler. Ausmus has the tying run at the plate. He's got his boppers coming up. Bullpen activity for Showalter right now with Zach Britton. There goes Kinsler, and a swing and a foul. Kinsler had it stolen. But Hunter had a good cut. He was right on it, but he fouls it back, and now the count 2-2.
Yeah, Torrey'd like to have this one back.
He's seen so many, 4 in a row right there, and this one was the best of them all.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to hit a bullet to center field. So you don't want to pull off.
Well, it changes everything now with 2 strikes. He's got to think middle away and adjust. And a good chance it's going to be middle away the way O'Day is throwing right now. For fear of making a mistake in.
It's a ground ball pitcher. Everything away. Where it goes again. A shot right at Hardy. This will turn into a double play. Kinsler was on the move. And a huge break for the Orioles. Line drive out. Double play. Wipes him clean with Cabrera coming up.
Finally threw him a sinker.
Yeah.
He didn't exactly crush it, but I thought when he first hit it, it was a line drive, but double play ball on the first sinker that he threw, and he's lucky he got away with the slider of the previous pitch. Kinsler on the move, double play easily.
And he was on the move to stay out of the double play. 2 outs, nobody on. A 2-run Baltimore lead with Miguel Cabrera at the plate. Drive right center field. That ball's hammered way back, and it's gone. A home run. Miguel Cabrera. A solo shot, and it's a 1-run game again. Well, now how big is that double play looking?
Just about to say all he can do is make it 4-3. Well, he did.
He knows what he was looking for. That same slider.
A flick of the wrist, and it changes it for Buck Showalter. He's going to go get O'Day, and he's going to ask his closer, Zach Britton, to give him a 4-out save here tonight. Miguel Cabrera. He strikes here in this 2014 postseason. 1-run game. Got a pitching change. We'll take a timeout. Here comes Britton. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. Miguel Cabrera just knocked it out of the park. And he changes it here in Baltimore. Now a 1-run game, a flick of the wrist, and Cabrera launches to deep right center field to make it 4-3.
How frightening is that? Cabrera in this ballpark stays back. Slider, not a very good slider. He stayed right there, but he just flicks this ball over the right center field fence. And if he played this ballpark, it would be a joke. I don't know how you get him out.
I don't either. He's so fun to watch and so good.
25 home runs during the regular season, 109 RBIs. O'Day knows that his night is over.
He also knows he caught a break with the double play that preceded that.
So 4-3, 2 outs in the 8th inning, and Buck Showalter will bring on his closer, who has been so good for him this year, hard-throwing lefty Zach Britton.
Boy, he took over that job back in May and never relinquished. You see the numbers for him. 95-mile-an-hour hard sinker.
This time,
I'm kind of surprised he's never had more than a 1-inning save. You'd think he'd had at least one, but none.
Just took over that closer's role this year in mid-May for Tommy Hunter. This time last year, Zach Britton was in instructional league. He was out of options with the Orioles. They had a decision to make whether to keep him or not, keep him on the roster. Where would he pitch? Wow, has he been a find? Huge double play as Hunter lined in to that double play ball with Kinsler on the move.
So he just turns that over at 95. One after another.
Great life on his fastball. Doesn't really need a breaking ball the way the ball moves.
See what he throws? 91% fastballs. That power sinking fastball, which you don't see a lot of from left-handed pitchers. Victor Martinez takes it down and in.
That's a pretty good pitch too.
Tigers 3, 4, and 5 hitters tonight have all homered. Cabrera just homered. Martinez, Victor, and JD went back-to-back in the 2nd inning.
This is like a 96-mile-an-hour screwball. You know what I mean? It really goes down. Normally he doesn't have enough time to go down.
Trying to do something he's never done in his career as a closer. Get 4 outs for a save. And Martinez takes the ball high.
You mentioned it earlier, Eck. This time of year, I'm sure you were always ready to go more than just 3 outs, whatever it took.
It's time to go 2 innings. This is the time of the year you go 2 innings. So you're not surprised.
But Showalter started it early. Andrew Miller got him 5 outs, and with 2 outs and nobody on, he had O'Day come in to get through the 7th. O'Day gets 2 outs here in the 8th. Power hitters at the bat and on deck as Victor Martinez grounds to Hardy. Nice easy hop. J.J. Hardy takes care of him. And Britton gets through the 8th, but Miguel Cabrera has tightened the screws at Camden Yards. It's a 1-run game. Bottom of the 8th coming. 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Set up for a finish here in Baltimore. Miguel Cabrera has made it a one-run game, a two-out opposite field home run. In the top of the eighth, Max Scherzer is back on the mound, and if the Tigers don't come back, he's got a chance to finish this one. There would be no bottom of the ninth, but he's out there to try to give him a chance in the ninth. Nick Markakis. Now the Orioles bring the top of their order up, and fourth time through the order against Scherzer. 2 hits tonight for Markakis. Had an RBI single in the second inning off Scherzer. Gave the Orioles a 3-2 lead at the time. All of the other runs in this game delivered by the home run ball. 5 home runs tonight. Any trouble for Scherzer here? It'll be Java Chamberlain, who's typically the 8th inning setup man for Joe Nathan.
He's had a consistent year for them out of all the guys in the bullpen that they talk about not performing all that well. He's been fairly consistent all year.
Way inside.
This is the way Scherzer started the game.
Almost like the pitch that he hit Diaz with in the first inning. Remember how bad that ball went inside?
Set up outside for that pitch. That was way off the mark.
2 balls and a strike. The Orioles leadoff hitter, Markakis. Little soft liner out to Castellanos for out number 1. Gives us a chance to send it to Atlanta. Casey Stern in our TBS studios. The winner of that, the winner of this, will match up for the American League pennant. 1 gone for Scherzer. And a strike to De Aza. De Aza is 0 for 2. Scherzer hit him in the first inning. Orioles got 2 in the first on a Nelson Cruz 2-run home run. That ball's hit well right field line. No chance for Hunter. That's going to the wall. And De Aza on his way to second. It's a 1-out double.
Something middle in. He just turned on it.
He left it up, down, over. Look at, he's out looking to throw it away.
See where the target was?
Oh, yeah, not even close.
That's the second time in that at bat that he has missed badly.
We thought that Hunter had a shot on him at second base, but not even close.
Well, approaching 100 pitches. High stress pitches at that. Brad Ausmus will take the ball from Max Scherzer. He has never lost a division series game in the postseason. He's on the hook right now. Here comes Chamberlain. Take a break. started early. Nelson Cruz.
First inning. 2-run shot the other way, but then top of the second, back-to-back. Victor Martinez. J.D. Martinez goes the other way. Tie game. And it was 3-2 until J.J. Hardy was leading off the seventh to make it 4-2. And after a big double play, a line drive double play, Cabrera came up with 2 outs, and he hit one out to make it 4-3.
And there you see the line on Max Scherzer, 7 1/3. He did not want to come out, but with a runner at second, that De Aza double has chased him here. And he is on the hook for the loss. He cannot win. 6 Ks, 1 walk, and now Java Chamberlain will pitch out of the bullpen for Astros and the Tigers.
Chamberlain, a long-time New York Yankee, sort of found his way out of New York and found himself a home here in Detroit. You see the 69 appearances, quite a few for him. You know, decent season. The walks, 24 walks are up, but he had a chance to close a few times and didn't do very well there. But he's right where he should be. You know, 7th inning maybe. They just haven't got a lot of help down there, and he's had to pitch a lot more important innings.
He's got a big arm, 94 with some good lateral movement and a slider, and he likes his slider.
Loves his slider.
Now watch his first pitch. Jones takes it. Good block back there by Avila. That keeps the speedy De Aza at second base. Baltimore had an add-on run with that Hardy homer in the 7th. They're looking for one here.
Well, you showed that line. You saw that line on Scherzer. 1 walk. That walk came back and scored on him in the 2nd inning thanks to that base hit by Markakis.
Scherzer 3-0 in ALDS starts against the Yankees and the A's. Adam Jones fires away and fouls it back.
I was talking to Jim Presley, the hitting coach for the Orioles, before the ballgame. I said, so what I hear about your ball club is that you guys like to jump on pitchers early in the count. He goes, we don't just jump on the early count. We hit the ball hard. And he's right.
Just like he used to.
Yeah.
1 gone in the inning. Big run at second base. Chamberlain and the Tigers trying to keep the Orioles at 4. On the ground. Oh, it's bobbled. Romine can't handle it. And coming around to try to score is De Aza. He's in there. De Aza comes all the way around on an error by Romine. And it's 5-3 Orioles.
This ball just eats Romine up. It just really does. A firm ground ball to short. It's routine, but I think he laid back on it. He goes to his left. That ball comes up. He just doesn't catch it off his heel. I mean, it happens. Just bad time for something like that to happen. He couldn't get anything on that throw. De Aza was flying around third base. Scores easy.
It'll be an error on Romine. Great base running by De Aza. Never slowed down as Nelson Cruz takes a strike. Going to give Bobby Dickerson some credit too, the third base coach. He saw it all the way, and with the lead, he took the gamble. That was a gamble worth taking.
As soon as that ball trickled away, there was no chance.
Just went off the heel of his glove. Looked like he got a decent hop too.
Well, it came up.
Yeah.
Joe, we talked a lot at the beginning of this game about some of the holes defensively. The Tigers are challenged defensively. They get great work out of Kinsler at second base. Romine's the last guy they're worried about.
Yeah.
Osmus raving about his defensive skills before the game. And a huge error that allows the Orioles to add one. Still 1 out. Nelson Cruz has hurt Java Chamberlain in the past. Small sample size, but he has 4 hits against him, 2 homers and a double. And there goes Jones. And a throw and a second one. Hops in, the tag, and safe. Adam Jones steals second base. A little out of character for the Orioles.
He got that base easy. He stole it off of Chamberlain. Chamberlain takes forever to deliver. And the pitch wasn't very good to throw until you see the high leg kick right there. Jones looking back, one hop throw to Kinsler. He's safe easy. Good pick by Kinsler, but couldn't apply the tag.
7 during the regular season for Jones, but the Orioles dead last by quite a margin in the stolen base column.
Runner in scoring position now with one out. Through for a base hit. Nelson Cruz delivers again. Jones will score. 6-3 Baltimore. His third RBI. About as money in the postseason as we have seen in recent years. And Nelson Cruz picks up right where he left off a couple of years ago.
Thought this ball got in on him a little bit. Target was away, but no, it had the middle of the plate, middle away, and didn't try to do too much with it.
That's what you got to do. You get a chance. You got to make it. You get a break. You take advantage of it. So there's no looking back.
One of those tack-on runs, huge for the Orioles tonight. Got one in the 7th, 2 here in the 8th. Cruz will chase Chamberlain. Osmus goes back to the bullpen. October 28th, the NBA's opening night, starting with an hour-long pregame show, followed by the world champion Spurs taking on the Mavericks. And it's Kobe's return as the Lakers host the Rockets. NBA opening night, watch it only on TNT. Nelson Cruz, what a postseason performer. And Tigers fans say, here we go again with that guy. 2011 Nelson Cruz, a memorable ALCS. Had the postseason's first walk-off grand slam. He had 8 extra base hits. He set a Major League Baseball record with 6 homers, 13 runs batted in a single series. He was the ALCS MVP and almost single-handedly dispatched the Tigers.
6 and 13. He's already got 1 and 3 tonight.
About to get paid in a big way for next season. He's a free agent. Pierce on the first pitch. Joaquin Soria enters the game and immediately in trouble. And now Cruz on his way to third, short hop, safe. And now on his way to second and safe without a throw is Steve Pierce. Good base running there. Second and third.
Brian, we're going to see a lot of this over the course of this series. Even Cruz got to second, hesitated, saw how deep Davis was, remembered that they probably had in their team meeting, hey, take the extra base on the guy, and then decided to go to third and still made it.
I mean, a great example of that, too, because there's no way you're going to try to go to third on this base hit to center field. Play is right in front of you. He's charging the ball right now, and he's just at second base.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, yeah, it's Davis. He's hurt. But if that throw is even anywhere close, he's out at third, and then Pierce takes second base on the the overthrow.
And that leaves a base open at first, and Brad Ausmus will not challenge J.J. Hardy here. He's going to face Ryan Flaherty, give himself a chance at a double play to try to get out of this inning. This is laying out in the Tigers' worst-case scenario. Scherzer pitched into the 8th, but he was behind. He couldn't finish it off. He couldn't get the Tigers to the late innings with the lead. And this Tigers bullpen has struggled this year. Meanwhile, the Orioles bullpen has locked down Detroit. Minus that Cabrera homer. And now the bases are loaded. All of this with 1 out. 3 hits in the air, partially error by Romine. And they're all jammed up for Ryan Flaherty. After the 7th inning, this bullpen for Brad Ausmus has struggled in a mighty way.
It says it all right there. I mean, that says everything. That's frightening is what it is. We're scared to death after the 7th.
Soria and Flaherty on the first pitch, base hit, cruises in. They will hold Pierce. Sensing a big inning, they've already got one going. 3 are in now. First pitch, hat, Ryan Flaherty with an RBI.
They don't mess around. And they are a mistake hitting machine. Leave the ball out over the plate, they're going to crush it.
You talk about a free swinging team to try to throw a fastball for a strike middle, you're going to get in trouble. Line drive, only 1 run can score. Ball's hit too hard. You see Cruz scores easily. Pierce has to hold up.
Base is still loaded. 7-3 now, Baltimore. And that one's down the left field line. Hundley got ahead of it, and that'll hook into the seats. Things have happened so fast here. We haven't even talked about Joakim Soria. He's thrown 3 pitches outside of the intentional walk, and they've been all over it. But he came to the Tigers from the Rangers, trying to settle down that bullpen. It hasn't worked that way. Got injured. Pitching in a 7th inning role typically if they have a lead with Chamberlain in the 8th.
He always had a good life when he was one of the better closers in baseball. Good late action on his fastball, and he really hasn't had that back yet, coming back from injury.
Just hasn't been crisp.
Yeah.
Because you could tell when he was on top of his game, especially in Kansas City when he was dealing for all those years.
And an oblique injury that knocked him out. A little slow roll to short. And the slow throw to first is in time for the out. That's going to bring in another run, though. That's a 2-out ground out. A 1-out ground out to get to 2 outs. And it is now 8-3 Baltimore.
Look at these fans. Every one of them on their feet down here in the lower bowl. They're loving every minute of this.
Outside of the intentional walk for Soria, the Orioles, and I'm talking about Pierce, Flaherty, and Hunter, they've swung at every pitch he's thrown. They're just hacking. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. 4 runs away. A strike to Jonathan Scope. Those are 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Even that ground out produced a run by Hundley. Keep in mind, this is still a save scenario for Brett. He came in to get out of the 8th inning. It was a 1-run game.
Well, he's going to have to refocus. Type of games you go back out there, and next thing you know, you get the bases loaded.
There's the line drive to right. That's down. 2 more coming in. Scope on his way to 2nd. It's a 2 RBI double, and the O's are pouring it on here in the 8th. Baltimore.
They batted around this inning. A big, costly error by Romine.
A 6-run inning.
keep in mind, I know that, Dennis, you were talking about you got to be ready to go multiple innings and anytime the manager calls you, but Chamberlain and Soria have been kind of his setup guys for Nathan, and they've been getting knocked around this inning. He needs to save a few pitches in case he needs them tomorrow night.
It's just not a very good confidence builder, to say the least.
Going to be the fourth pitcher of the 8th inning for the Tigers. Osmus makes another change. We'll take a break. All right, Casey, thanks. And looking forward to the second game of our doubleheader tonight. They get that series started in Anaheim. Bullpen comparison, it's been ugly for the Tigers. Not just the 4 earned runs that are in, but also the 2 runs that were allowed and that belong to Scherzer. Scherzer ends with 5 earnings in 7 1/3. And Koch, the left-hander, Phil Koch, is the 4th pitcher in this inning. An inning that began with Scherzer. And then Chamberlain to Soria, now Phil Koch.
Well, I'll tell you, the cat was already out of the bag, don't you think? I mean, this just makes it worse when you get much maligned bullpen come out there and throw gas on the fire. And Phil Koch, he's had a decent year. The start of the season, he was awful, but the second half, he's turned it around.
The 10th batter of the inning. Scherzer goes 7 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. On the hook for the loss, a couple of home runs allowed. J.J. Hardy and Nelson Cruz got it. Scope with a 2 RBI double. 6 runs on 5 hits and an error in this inning. I don't see anybody warming up in the Orioles bullpen. I wonder if it's even crossing the mind. Apparently not. If Buck Showalter to take Britton out of the game, even though it's a safe situation still for him. But that's a 7-run lead in a game tomorrow, and it's a noon start here tomorrow. Quick turnaround.
You're right. A regular season game, he would have been out. And so why not this?
And the Tigers are headed to the bottom of their order. They've already cleared Cabrera and Victor Martinez. Skips away. Scope on his way to third base. No throw, and it is all going bad for the Tigers. What a disaster here in the 8th.
This is garbage time is what it is. Koch doesn't know where he's throwing it. Avila's set up inside. He throws it away. He goes lunging for it. Just not a pretty time of the game.
In that last series against Minnesota, guys, when Detroit was trying to nail down the Central Division, in the first 2 games of that series against Minnesota, they gave up double digits of runs in those 2 games before clinching it on the last day.
2-0, Markakis, who has 2 hits and an RBI tonight, takes a strike from Phil Koch. Take a look at Koch's arsenal. And it'll be used as an early reliever, typically. Not here tonight, but fastball slider change.
There's problems with command.
Tigers stack up the last 3 Cy Young Award winners in their starting rotation against Baltimore. They've got trouble in their bullpen after that. And the Orioles grabbed the lead. They had a tack-on run against Scherzer. They got it to their bullpen beginning of the 6th inning. Chris Tillman, the starter for the O's, only went 5. He got through 5 and had a lead.
This was not what the Tigers had in mind. If there was a question, it was about Verlander because of his struggles. They thought and Baltimore thought if Verlander stubs his toe, then we've got a chance to win this series. But I don't think anybody expected the Orioles to come out tonight like they did against Scherzer, especially in the first inning. This is actually kind of stealing the game in a way for the Orioles.
Yeah, I agree with you. Even with home field advantage, it doesn't feel like much with the power of the Tigers. I mean, they're as much of a threat here as any other team in the American League.
Going in, you thought you had a shot at Verlander because he's not the same guy, right? Out of the 3 guys, he's the weak link.
Right. They're up 10-3 in a game against Scherzer. And that's my point. They had no idea that he didn't like this man.
So there'll be 11 batters in this inning. Markakis draws a 2-out walk. Zach Britton has been sitting in that dugout for a long time. I'm sure he's happy to do it, watching all of this unfold. 10-3 is the score. And here is De Aza, who had a double earlier in this inning. That was the last batter that Scherzer faced. Scherzer retired. The first batter he faced in this inning, Markakis. And then 6 Orioles reach base before the next out. And Avila wants to chat with Phil Koch.
Each and every guy that's come into this game has not really been focused. Almost like they know it's over, but this is the toughest time to pitch when it's garbage time.
We start thinking about tomorrow. No manager admits to that or wants to talk about that, but 10-3 and 3 outs to get on the defensive side for the O's. First and third, 2 outs.
Yeah, and I guess the punch to the gut of the Tigers is the fact that Cabrera had hit a homer to get him within 1 going to the bottom of this inning.
One ball, 1 strike on Alejandro De Aza. Shooting over the opposite field. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Now for the Tigers in the 9th inning, J.D. Martinez, Alex Avila, Nick Castellanos coming up. Scherzer left the game, having allowed 3 runs, 2 inherited runners scored. He gives up 5 earnings. And on the hook for his first ever division series loss.
I mean, you sure don't want Britton over there for half an hour, do you? I mean, you made a point. It really doesn't make any sense. 12 o'clock game tomorrow? I mean, it really doesn't.
I'm with you. That's going to be an interesting topic for Buck Showalter after this one. Just standing, sweatshirt on, trying to stay loose. There's Dave Wallace, the pitching coach. I don't know if any ball club in the dugout is rooting for an out. I'm not saying the Orioles are, but if you're Zach Britton right now, you're okay with an out right here.
Oh, you're cool.
Get back on the mound and try to get this thing over with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm surprised like you guys. Nobody's loosening.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at the corners. Coach trying to end this nightmare for the Tigers. And now the count goes full. That's going to give Markakis a head start. I think the other side of that, if you're an Oriole reliever still available to pitch in this game and you're down there waiting for the phone to ring, how big does this lead have to get for him to trust me? Come on, Buck.
Maybe there's a guy down there who needs 5 pitches and he's ready.
Maybe so. Maybe you're right. We'll see. Full count. Markakis goes into right center field. Down. Base hit. In to score is Scope. De Aza right behind him. Pouring it on the Orioles. 2 more score. De Aza with a double.
On a different note, I'm watching Rajay Davis go after this ball, and it is a struggle for him to get over there and get to this ball. Now, is he moving over there to cut it off? Yes, but not with the fluid running motion that we're used to seeing. So, again, going forward, what we talked about at the beginning of the game, it's going to be an issue.
Absolutely. The issue being if they have to pull him, he's done. You know, he can't return, so he have to go forward. So that was a risky move to put him in on the roster to begin with.
12-3 Baltimore. 8 runs are in the inning on 6 hits. Jeff Jones trying to do whatever he can to get Coke through this inning. And here is Adam Jones now. The 12th batter of the inning. What an eruption here by the Orioles. Runner at second with 2 away. Most runs ever scored by the Orioles in a postseason game. And they've got a nice history of postseason play as well prior to that 14-year drought. Back-to-back postseasons, 96, 97. 3 World Series titles, 83, 1970, 1966. None of those teams did what the Orioles are doing here tonight. Thank goodness the Orioles bullpen is finally active. Right, Tommy Hunter. 9-run lead. We trust you now. Remember, Hunter was warming up back in the 5th inning. That had something to do with Buck's decision. Tigers have Hopstein in their bullpen. Way inside. Cole can't find it. Avila doing all he can to keep it in front.
It's one thing being wild, but that's over the top.
Yeah, all over.
That's a helpless spot for a manager, any manager, especially a first-year manager. Tried to stick with Scherzer as long as he could after the double by De Aza. He felt like he needed to get the bullpen in. And it has been a disaster ever since. Chamberlain to Soria to Cope. 8 runs are in on 6 hits, an error. Ground ball, big hop to Romine, and Jones historic inning for the Baltimore Orioles. They put a snowman on the board against the Tigers. 12 free O's trying to secure game 1. Casey, thanks. And there you see Tommy Hunter in the game to try to close this one out. 12-3 is the score. The Orioles bring 12 batters to the plate in the 8th inning. 8 runs, 6 hits, a couple of walks, 2 errors. Only 2 of those runs were earned, but they all count. And a 9-run lead. J.D. Martinez out to J.J. Hardy. And there is out number 1.
Nicely done.
Tommy Hunter started the year as the closer, moved into that setup role, and that's really when the Orioles took off and their bullpen came together.
Well, this isn't where you usually have Tommy Hunter, obviously, but as we talked about in the pregame, all 4 of the guys we talked about were in this game. As opposed to the other side of the field, you don't know what the feeling is over there as far as the bullpen's concerned. Not that this game made it. Does it make it worse? They were feeling that way going in.
Right. Confirmed it.
Avila on the first pitch, and he'll shoot the hole between first and second. A base hit for Alex Avila, his first hit of the night. And a base runner with 1 away. Some of the key moments here in your mind, Joe, and you talked about the tack-on runs, but how about early in this game? Right away with Tillman, right away with Nelson Cruz.
Well, the fact that the Tigers were able to get the bases loaded against him in the 5th inning, they had Hunter up there, Torrey Hunter, who grounded out to end the inning. They weren't able to capitalize on a bases loaded situation there. And then the tack-on run, of course, by J.J. Hardy was a big key, and then the line drive out, the double play.
Yeah, that preceded
Cabrera's home run.
And to me, Miller made a statement tonight coming out of the bullpen, the way he did it. Punched out 3 guys.
Yeah.
You know, going forward, he's feeling good about himself.
Not a whole lot for the Orioles to feel bad about.
No,
it lined up perfectly for them. They're a quick strike, high-octane offense that relies on the home run ball. Their fans love it. They led the league in home runs this year, and we saw 5 home runs in this game. Nelson Cruz, J.J. Hardy hit the 2 big ones when this was a much different game than what we're seeing right here in a 12-3 Orioles lead.
You got to be feeling good about J.J. Hardy hitting a home run like that. The way he's been feeling over the course of the last couple of weeks.
Sure. Gave him a 2-run lead. Hardy's home run came in the 7th.
When you and I were talking about Davis a minute ago, and I said that that's an issue. Right about that same time, I looked in the dugout. Ausmus looked behind some of the coaches and yelled to someone to come down. He wanted to talk to him. It was the kid Carrera, who's out on deck now. If Romine can reach, he may have seen something about Davis that worried him, and maybe that's why Carrera's out to pinch hit.
Yeah, just don't push it right now.
Yeah.
Something to carry over for tomorrow. Down to their last strike. Hunter deals, fouled away. Romine delays the inevitable here. There's Ezekiel Carrera, and he is insurance in case Rajay Davis can't go in this series. That lower abdominal injury. Rookie center fielder. Tigers down to their last strike. The Orioles trying to seal game 1. And what a performance to beat Max Scherzer, the reigning Cy Young Award winner. One of the 3 Cy Young pieces for the Detroit Tigers. They'll send up Verlander tomorrow. Wei-Yin Chen, the left-hander, will pitch for the O's. One ball, 2 strikes. Hunter deals it. Romine fouls it away. Can't put it all on Andrew Romine. The relievers of the Tigers certainly deserve a lot of the blame, but Romine's error last inning opened the door in a big way. 8 runs scored, only 2 earned after that error. One of 2 errors in the inning. Two and 2. Baltimore entered this postseason trying to prove that what they did in the American League East was no fluke. They clinched that division on September 16th. First time they've won that division since 1997. The Davey Johnson Orioles.
Not that the American League East was a powerhouse. I mean, once that division is not the same. You talk about the Yankees, the Red Sox, Tampa don't score any runs. Not to take anything away from the Orioles, but that division wasn't quite the same this year.
They won by 12 games.
Runner takes off. Romine with a base hit. So Andrew Romine collects his 2nd hit of the night. And that'll keep the inning alive for Detroit. 2 on, 2 out. And instead of Rajay Davis, Ausmus is going to go to his bench. And Davis is back up in center field. Ezekiel Carrera will pinch hit. He'll get his first postseason exposure. It's going to be a big story as we show up tomorrow. Something to track. Rajay Davis with that injury didn't look like himself, not running well. He's a speed player who relies on that speed, can do so many things, provide so many weapons for Ausmus. But if they've got to turn it over to a rookie center fielder who they are very confident in, but still, it's his first postseason.
Brad Ausmus told us in the meeting that he was comfortable with it because he talked to Rajai, watched him work out today, and the data said, when Brad said, "Can you steal a base for us if we need you?" he said yes.
Does he look like he could steal a base for you? No way. Chance. No way. I would be shocked if he's in the lineup tomorrow.
And a quick turnaround tomorrow once again. That goes for not just relievers and quick turnarounds, but players who are dealing with injuries. That's a noon start tomorrow here in Baltimore.
This kid's up there for his first postseason at bat, left-handed, and Dave Clark is standing 20 feet away as a third base coach, way down the line. I'm glad he's wearing a helmet.
No kidding. How about that? There's a little tension here, but Orioles fans, they've had a history with Tommy Hunter. He's been great in that setup role, but it not go well for him in the closer's role. But you got to give him a little slack. I mean, he was up and throwing full out, gassing up, ready to come into a game in the 5th inning. A long time to sit. That was hours ago.
It just goes to show you the kind of adrenaline that you need. You know, a playoff game is enough adrenaline, you'd think, for anybody. But that being said, 12-3 is another story.
Two outs, 2 on. Carrera takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And if you're the Tigers right now, you're down 9 runs. All you're trying to do is get Buck Showalter back in his bullpen. Try to get the pitch count up for Hunter and just get one more guy on the mound.
Absolutely, and that's the last thing Buck wants to do or even thought he'd have to do.
We got a single by Avila and a base hit by Romine with 2 outs. Now a walk to Carrera, whose first postseason at bat is a success. And to the top of the order, and Ian Kinsler now. Always been a strong hitter with the bases loaded, about 20 points higher than his career average. There's a strike from Hunter.
What's that number again?
Pick it up, hang it up.
Exactly what I was thinking. They can't have this guy throw too many pitches.
Right. And that was 19. Tom Cheedy is the bullpen coach. One more strike's all they need to secure game 1. Kinsler doesn't bite.
Kinsler's had some long at-bats tonight.
Sure has. Really battled.
A 14-pitch at-bat against Tillman in the 3rd. 9-pitch at-bat that resulted in an infield hit in the 8th. And he swings and misses. That is a swinging strike. The tag is applied. Kinsler says, don't even bother running to first. That's a ball game. That's a strikeout to end it. Secured by the tag, and the Baltimore Orioles win game 1 of this best-of-5 ALDS. They hang an L on Max Scherzer and hang a snowman on the Tigers in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 12-3 final score. Nelson Cruz, 3 runs batted in. He's back in the postseason and doing damage against the Tigers once again. Coming up next, game 1, Royals Angels. Following a quick break, we'll send you to Ernie Johnson in Anaheim. For Jamie Maggio, Joe Simpson, Dennis Eckersley, I'm Brian Anderson. We'll see you tomorrow. That's a noon start, 11:30 Eastern pregame. We'll be ready for game 2 and the O's up 1-0 on the Tigers.